Radio check, loud and clear, loud and clear. Thank you everyone for tuning in and welcome along to the coverage here in Singapore. We have got a lot of action up ahead and the race will be starting in 1 hour's time. Some updates from yesterday. We do have Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz disqualified out of qualifying because their cars were breaching the technical regulations. Very, very unfortunate for them. They ended up in 12th and 13th in quali, but looks like they're going to be starting in 19th and 20th, or maybe even from the pit lane. But the reason for their disqualification was because their DRS flap was too wide, so it can only be 8.5 centimeters. When the DRS flap opens, you're only allowed a gap of 8.5 centimeters, and I think theirs was 8.6 centimeters instead of 8.5 or 8.7 centimeters instead of 8.5 and yeah, that's why they got disqualified. So very, very unfortunate for them, but we'll see what they can do to make it up through the field. Of course, if you do look at the constructors, this race they really needed to do some damage limitation because Fernando Alonso is up there, so's Isaac Hadjar in 8th and 10th, and they'll be looking to score points and close the gap to Williams. And with Williams starting in dead last, that is going to be a fantastic opportunity for Hadjar, for Alonso, potentially even Lawson and Stroll to gain some points and to close that gap up to the Williams team. Yeah. All right. Carlos Sainz, Alex Albon disqualified. A few other things to talk about. Of course, we have got the big sort of news / scandal / whatever happened at the end of qualifying. Max Verstappen, on his final run of Q3, he aborted his lap, which was quite the surprise, to be honest. His first two sectors were looking pretty good. And then, at the end of quali, when he did his press conference, he said that he didn't get impeded. Of course, there's two different things, one driver giving another driver dirty air, and there's another thing where you block the driver directly. Now, Lando Norris did not block Max Verstappen, but he did put himself on the racing line a few seconds ahead of him, and we know the dirty air in these cars is super duper sensitive, especially when you are driving on the limit of grip, like Max Verstappen was for his final quali lap in Q3. So yeah, Norris was about 3 or 4 seconds up the road, and he was driving on the racing line and sort of disturbing the air. Now, he had been told probably about 6-7 seconds before he did that Max Verstappen was approaching behind him, and yet he was still on the racing line, sort of disturbing the air. Now, Max obviously was not very happy about that, and he actually said, "Oh yeah, I will note that, and it will be remembered." And essentially, Max Verstappen is going to be, he's going to be pretty aggressive against Lando Norris if he finds himself on the track with him, because Max, actually, if you do look at the data, it looks he is within 80 milliseconds of George Russell's pole time at that moment in time. So he's 80 milliseconds away. He's got 4 corners left, which in those 4 corners he can definitely make up those 80 milliseconds. But then Lando Norris gives him the dirty air, and then that's a very, very big problem for him. He makes a mistake and then aborts his lap. So yeah, it was, we'll see how that plays out, really, because Max did have a shot at pole position. Like, he was pretty close. It would have been a bit of a stretch, but, Max Verstappen has done it before, absolute utter commitment in the final couple of corners, and, steals that pole position away from someone else. Yeah, folks, the face reveal is at 200k subs and 10k likes. It's been like this all weekend long. So, just hit the like button, and as the stream gets going, and as we get probably, I think, 20,000 people, 30,000 people tuning in, we'll get the face reveal underway. So, yeah. But we did hit 200k, actually, about 3 minutes after this, after I ended the stream yesterday, we hit 200k. So, I'd like to say a really big thank you to all of you that have tuned in so early on to the stream, and everyone that's been listening in for the past couple of years. It's just been an absolutely incredible journey, and I really don't know how to properly describe it. It was just a bit weird, I hit 200k and then I just couldn't really think of any sort of way to describe it. And as a commentator, I should, be able to use my words to describe things, but I don't know, my brain sort of went blank. So, Yeah, thank you everyone for subscribing, and now we've got the subscriber base of a small town, a small city, pretty much. Yeah. Will there be rain? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. I checked the weather forecast and it's going to be raining 6 hours after the end of the race. So yeah, it's the chances of rain are zero pretty much. We've got some more information that I'm going to pop up on the screen right now. So let's get that up. Yeah, so here we go. Expected pit stop strategies for today, folks. It looks to be the medium tyres is the tyres that you want to start on. Then you go on to the hards. The alternate strategy, of course, start on the hards, then go on to the mediums. The other option you have is start the race on the soft tyres and then go on to the hards. The soft tyres give you the benefit that you'll get an excellent launch off the line, but the problem with that at Singapore is that the run from pole position in towards the braking zone of turn number 1 is only about 90 meters or so. It's not all that big, so the drivers will have, a good launch, but then they only have 90 meters to make an overtake before they reach the braking point of turn number 1, which is not really enough. So I wouldn't really expect to see the soft tires used today, especially considering it's a little bit sunny in Singapore right now. So that helps. Well, that increases track temperature, increases tire wear, and that just makes it all the more worse for the soft tires. Yeah, so we'll probably be seeing mediums to hards, and then of course you can run strategy number 4, but that sort of relies on the fact that there will be a safety car. So yeah, that sort of relies on the fact that we do get a safety car, so we'll sort of see how it goes. But the chances of a safety car around here in Singapore are pretty high indeed. As you can see there, from 2017 to 2014, we've had 83% of safety cars. So literally every single race apart from last year's race, we've had a safety car in Singapore. We've had a virtual safety car in... we've had a virtual safety car a few occasions as well. Yeah. Face reveal, folks. The face reveal will be happening, as when we hit 10,000 likes. 10,000 likes, we've hit this quite a few times before on the stream, so it's not like a super unrealistic target or anything like that. I think the record a stream has ever had is 13,000 likes, so yeah, we can definitely hit 10,000. Yeah. Okay. So what website can you watch the race for free on? It's SRF. So if you join a Swiss VPN server using the link in the description, you can go on SRF Formula 1 and you can watch the coverage. The coverage on SRF hasn't begun yet. It normally starts, I think, half an hour before, normally 45 minutes before, the start of the race. So in 12 minutes time or so, we will get the... We'll get the SRF coverage starting, yeah. All right, let's continue on through the next couple of things. Yeah, looking at the race pace simulation, this is what I was saying yesterday. The McLarens do look to still be the fastest in the race pace sims. We do have Red Bull about a tenth behind Mercedes, 2 tenths behind them, and then Ferrari's quite a ways back, as they sort of were in quali as well. You can see quali, Hamilton and Leclerc about 5-6 tenths off the back of George Russell. So big gap there for the Ferraris. Don't know how good of a race it's going to be for them. But yes, George Russell doesn't have the fastest car in this current scenario, and yeah, the McLarens will be chasing him down, Piastri will be chasing him down, so will Max Verstappen, and yeah, we'll see how it goes really. I think Antonelli will have his work cut out for him. He will be trying to stay up in that 4th position spot, hold off Lando Norris, hold off the charge of the Ferraris as well. It's going to be a tough one for the Mercedes. They did really well in quali, now it's time to hold it together for the race. Okay, rain status, unfortunately no rain, folks. Unfortunately no rain. Yeah. Okay, that's the qualifying heads-to-heads. I mean, this is, I think, 2 races old now because we're at round number 18. But Fernando Alonso has still out-qualified Lance Stroll 18 times this season, and Stroll has never out-qualified him once. George Russell carries on. I think he's only beaten Antonelli. Antonelli's beat him twice. Russell has beat him every other occasion. Max, carrying on the record of beating Yuki Tsunoda. Charles Leclerc getting out-qualified by Lewis Hamilton, actually. A bit of an odd one compared to what we typically see, where Hamilton's quicker. But, the gap between the two Ferrari drivers was pretty minimal, to say the least. It was just about a tenth of a second or so. Then we had Adjar out-qualify Liam Lawson. That's a pretty consistent thing that we've seen happen all season long. Hulkenberg out-qualifies Bortoleto, which is a bit of a surprise, actually. Hulkenberg has had a bit of a worse track record than Bortoleto has in quali, but he comes out on top this weekend round. And of course, I think Hulkenberg's got a lot more practice around this circuit, which helps him out a lot. I think we'll also be getting the race data coming through. In fact, yes, we have got the race data coming through. Fantastic. Yeah, let me just switch that over to race mode. Okay. And yeah, okay, so let's get rid of that. I shall also take you through a lap of the circuit, folks. And the other thing to keep in mind is that the... let me get rid of the quali data first off my laptop, so that doesn't cause any issues. Alrighty. So the track map, these green dots here, these are the DRS zones. So these are the DRS detection points, sorry. So DRS detection points for where the drivers will get the DRS activated. So if you're within 1 second of the driver ahead of you at this dot here, then you'll get DRS down the next straight. If you're within 1 second here, then you'll get DRS down the next straight. And if you're within 1 second of this DRS dot or this DRS detection point, you get DRS for this zone and also the next zone as well. So 2 different zones that you get DRS in from this dot. So it's a pretty good DRS zone, actually. Pretty important to stay within 1 second here. And of course, George Russell's first task will be break DRS to Max Verstappen, and we'll see if he can do that, really. He did have really good pace yesterday, honestly. George Russell, he set the track record on his first Q3 run, and then also set the track record again on his second Q3 run. So it wasn't even just a one-off fluke, it was just George Russell was really one with the car yesterday. Honestly, I watched the... I watched George Russell's onboard, and not a single twitch of oversteer on the entire lap. He was super smooth with his steering inputs, and... not once when he got on the power did he have a twitch of oversteer which he had to correct. Everything was absolutely perfect from George Russell, and man and machine combined very, very well together. Sort of on par with, I'd say, Lewis Hamilton's lap in 2018. Just so flawless, so just absolutely no mistakes that you could even detect from the onboard. It was really, really good there from George yesterday. Okay. Why is it science P18, not P19? I'm not sure. I think that must be because Gasly is also starting from the pit lane. That is, so what's happened is Albon wasn't happy with his setup yesterday, so he's starting from the pits. Gasly is also starting from the pits because he clearly wasn't happy with the setup. And then Sainz, who got disqualified, is going to be starting in 18th position. So that's normally the reason why we have these sort of orders switching up. So for anyone that didn't see yesterday, Carlos Sainz, Alex Albon disqualified because their DRS flap opened too wide. Yeah. Okie dokes. Max is going to send it up the inside. Well, we'll see how it goes. Which Surfshock deal is the best for F1? Do I need more than the starter? No, you can just get the cheapest one, and the cheapest one will get you the ability to watch the Formula 1 coverage. Okay, yeah, so will Max send it down the inside? Well, I'll take you through the onboard lap, sort of show you what the opening lap is going to be looking like. So, let's get underway here. So we're coming down the start-finish straight, and a piece of information, the driver who is on pole position is going to be starting on the right-hand side of the circuit, so they will have the clean side of the track. So let's just see, pole position, just a little bit there. Yeah, that's where pole position is, just to the left of that onboard. In fact, I can make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, so the drivers who have got even numbers, the drivers who have got odd numbers are going to be starting on the right-hand side of the grid, and they're going to be on the outside line, but they do have the clean part of the grid, whereas the drivers with the even numbers, they're going to be on the inside line, so, they can send it up the inside if they want to, but they are going to have the dirty side of the grid. So, it's one way or the other. You get the dirty side of the grid, but you have the inside line to try and make an overtake, or you start slightly further ahead, and you get the clean side of the grid, but of course you're on the outside line, so you're very susceptible to just being squeezed off the racetrack. So that is that's what's going to happen on the opening lap, and And yeah, then going in towards turn number one, you haven't got very, very long before you hit the brakes. Just about 90 to 100 meters before you get on the power. Again, you've got to then slam on the brakes again for turn number one. So not the best overtaking opportunities. I think last year, the top four remained in the exact same positions that they started the race in because, it's just too difficult to overtake in the first 90 meters. Another thing is that the last time we had this top four in quali, in quali, like Russell, Verstappen, Piastri, and Antonelli, I think it was the Canadian Grand Prix, and we all know how the Canadian Grand Prix went for Lando Norris. So yeah, maybe things will turn around. But yeah, the last time George Russell was on pole, he went on to win in Canada. So maybe he can continue on. Maybe he can continue on with his pole to win ratio this year. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Imagine Russell crashing on the final lap. Yeah, of course, he did have that one occurrence when he did go flying into the Singapore GP barriers. He went into the hashtag Singapore Grand Prix barriers, I think on the exit of turn number 5 it was. So we'll continue on this flying lap here. The main thing for turn number... Oh, this is turn number 5. Actually, no, Russell didn't crash here. But the main thing for turn number 5, slow in, fast out. This is where you get your best possible exit. And this is the most important exit, probably, of your flying lap, because you've got a very long run down this back straight. You've also got DRS as well. Just nudge the steering wheel ever so slightly, minimize the distance that you travel as well. And yeah, this is what happened. George Russell hit the brakes and then hit the barrier on the right-hand side, broke his wheel, and then went straight into the barriers, dead, to the right of where I'm turning right now. But yeah, back then they were the Singapore GP barriers, not the DHL ones. And he went for the gap. If you've seen that meme. But yeah, all right. Then you continue on in towards the next couple of corners, turn number 8, 9, and 10. Turn number 9, super duper tricky because the track again tightens up on the exit, so it's very difficult to sort of judge when to get on the power because the circuit is also tightening up. You're also drifting to the right hand side, causes quite a few issues. Another thing about the Singapore Grand Prix circuit is because it is Marina Bay, it's right next to the sea. It's not particularly hilly, not a lot of elevation change. The difference between the highest and the lowest part of the circuit is only about 5 meters or so. So the drivers don't have to worry too much about, shifting their brake balance for downhill braking zones or uphill braking zones, which is going to be very much the opposite of what we're going to have in 2 weekends' time in the Circuit of the Americas, where we're going to have huge uphills, huge downhills for braking, and that will be very interesting indeed. You continue on through sector number 3 here. And this is where Max Verstappen sort of got the dirty air from Lando Norris. So this is the point where Max is sort of going through. He's going through this corner here. And Lando Norris is at the next corner. So this is turn number 16 here that I'm about to hit the apex of. Turn number 17 is where Lando Norris sort of was. And essentially, Max is claiming that... probably correctly claiming as well, but he's basically just saying that Lando Norris was on the racing line and he caused him a lot of dirty air, which meant that Verstappen made a mistake and couldn't put together a pole lap. So yeah, we'll see how that plays out on the circuit. If Verstappen and Norris are next to each other on the racetrack, I'm sure Verstappen is going to be a little bit more aggressive than he already is, and that will go down really well for Lando Norris. I mean, it's just not really the smartest idea, is it? Annoying Max Verstappen, who is probably known to be one of, if not the most aggressive driver on the Formula One grid, while you're going for a championship battle. You're 25 points behind your teammate, 25 points behind your rival, and you've just annoyed the driver who's trying to beat you in the World Championship. So yeah, not the smartest idea from Norris. I mean, the thing was, it wasn't like Norris wasn't told over the radio. He was told over the radio well in advance, and then he didn't move out of the way, or maybe he was just like, oh, it's not going to matter too much. But I think Norris knows, all of the Formula One driver know that within, once you're 4 seconds, 3 seconds from the driver ahead of you, you may not be impeding them directly, but you are giving them a lot of dirty air. So maybe that was a conscious decision, maybe it was by accident. Either way, Lando Norris may pay the price when he comes to wheel-to-wheel racing with Max Verstappen. Yeah, folks, just to reiterate, no rain is expected until 4, 5, 6 hours after the race is finished, so it's really not a problem. And yeah, we will be having a dry race here in Singapore. Unfortunately, I'd love to see the race, but I'd love to see the rain. Sorry, but it's just not happening, really. Yeah. Okay. Hadjar's going to write history today. Well, Hadjar's up in 8th position. Maybe you can make up some places. If we do have a look at the sort of race pace simulations, where have they gone? Where are they? Oh yeah, here they are. The race pace simulations. You can see Racing Bulls are the quickest team after Ferraris, and that's also an average between Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar. Hadjar, I think, this weekend is a little bit quicker, and of course, Liam Lawson hasn't had a lot of running because he crashed on Friday. He also crashed on Saturday, so he hasn't had that much time to actually do long runs. So once you average out the discrepancy between Hadjar and Lawson, Hadjar's pace is going to be right up there with the Ferraris, and maybe he'll be able to overtake and potentially get up into 5th or even 6th position. Okay. Yeah. All right then. To be honest, if both McLaren's DNF, it would make the remaining races a lot more exciting. It would, because currently Max is 69 points behind the McLarens, which means that he's going to have to gain 10 points every single Grand Prix till the end of the season on both McLaren drivers to win the championship, which is just not going to work. He's 69 points behind Oscar Piastri, and he's about 40 something points behind Lando Norris. I think 44 points or something like that. But yeah, he's got to gain a lot of points every single race on Oscar Piastri if he's going to win, and that seems unlikely. But the red McLarens, for whatever reason, they're not good this year. They're not good at Singapore, at least. We saw this in 2023. In fact, Red Bull were dominating every single Grand Prix weekend in 2023. Max would win by 20, 30, 40 seconds every single time, but they arrive at Canada and suddenly Max Verstappen has got no pace whatsoever. So maybe it's a similar story. McLaren have got pace everywhere else, but they arrive at Singapore. Did I just say Canada? I definitely did just say Canada. I mean Singapore. They arrive at Singapore and they've got no pace whatsoever. So that maybe next weekend back in COTA, the McLarens will be back on top, but it's getting an awful lot closer to say the least. Max Verstappen. I think what has happened is, if you've been watching the past couple of Free Practice 1 streams, I make a note of all of the teams that have brought upgrade packages, and in the past I think 4-5 races, nobody has brought any sort of upgrade packages. Everyone has got the most minimal sort of upgrade packages that you've really seen, and if any upgrade packages. So that means the Red Bull car has been the exact duplicate car that they've had for the past 6-7 weeks or something. And typically what happens in the world of Formula 1 is that the upgrades, you get upgrades every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and that changes the characteristics of the car. You can't properly understand the car because you learn something, and then 3 weeks later you get an upgrade package on the suspension, and whatever you learn has now just gone out the window, and you have to relearn something slightly different. And the Red Bull car, which is very, very sensitive to being in the correct window. At the start of the season, there was a lot of talk about Max Verstappen was able to get the Red Bull in the correct window. Yuki Tsunoda wasn't, Liam Lawson wasn't, and that was the source of the problems. And that sort of looks to be true, because now that they've done 7 races with this car, they've got the knowledge that they've learned over these past 7 races means that they can set up the car absolutely perfectly. They can get it right into the window, and that means that Verstappen is able to compete. I'm not saying the Red Bull car is quicker by any stretch of the imagination, but in this very certain set of circumstances, with the perfect setup, it can be within 1/10 of the McLarens. It can be within 2/10 of the McLarens. Yeah. Also, folks, the drivers, what they're doing now is they're doing their reconnaissance lap. So they've come out of the pits. They're going to be driving around the circuit. They're going to be getting some knowledge on, what the conditions are like, if the other grip levels up, other grip levels down compared to yesterday. What are track temperatures like? You can see track temperatures 33 degrees. This is actually good news for George Russell. The Mercedes team is not so good in high and hot track temperature conditions, and the cooler it is, the better it is for George Russell. So, and of course, it is now nighttime in Singapore, so it's going to get a lot cooler, and this sort of brings it in towards the favor of George Russell, and also it brings it away from the favor of the McLarens. The McLarens are fantastic in hot temperatures, but yeah, it's not hot today, so their advantage that they had is it's going to be a lot smaller, and it's going to be a great fight. I would probably say at least the top three are in for a fight for the win, if not the top five. Antonelli also looked like he had some really good pace, I think. Why are they out on inters? The track is slightly wet, actually. The track is slightly wet because Carlos Sainz is out on intermediate tyres. So it must have rained slightly earlier, at least unless they were practicing yesterday. But no, it must be intermediate tyres right now. I will double check and confirm. But this could be like 2017 then. There's no more chance of rain, so it is not going to rain till the end of the day or till like 4 hours after the race finishes. But the circuit itself is a little damp because it did rain earlier, and we've got all the drivers out on their reconnaissance laps on intermediate tyres. Fernando Alonso's out on inters, Stroll's out on inters, everyone's rain lights are flashing. So yeah, but as you can see here, rain is no, so there's no actual water falling onto the circuit, but there is water already on the track. But we have got some drivers. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Do they start out on the softs? Do they start out on the inters? Yeah. Also, folks, be sure to hit the like button. Once we do hit 10,000 likes, I will be doing a face reveal. I've got my webcam ready. I literally have to press one button, and the face reveal will be done. But yeah, you guys have to. Well, you know, we've got to hit 10,000 likes. Yeah. It rained about 30 minutes ago. Okay, thank you very much for the info. It rained about 30 minutes ago. I don't think it's raining anymore. I'll double check the forecast, and yeah, the forecast does not indicate any sort of rain. Okay, yeah, there was some rain in the F1 Academy race by the looks of it. All right. Yeah. So we could have an intermediate race start. That's going to make it all the more interesting because nobody has practiced their braking points for intermediate conditions. Nobody has their reference points turned, set up or not set up. They haven't learned any reference points. You know, the drivers, while they're driving along, there's only a few brake marker boards. For the rest of it, the drivers see, you know, oh, I see this pole, I'm going to turn. I see this light overhead, I'm going to turn. Or I see this, the curb starts to, the curb appears on the circuit, and now I'm going to press the brakes. And all of that changes once you're in intermediate conditions, in slightly wet conditions. So, yeah, well, that's going to be interesting to say the least. Okie dokes. Congrats on 200,000k subscribers. Thanks, everyone. Thank you all for subscribing. We hit, I think, 200k probably like 3 minutes after I ended the stream for Quali. So big thank you to everyone that did subscribe yesterday and has subscribed for the past many years. Yeah, it does mean a lot, and it's been a sort of incredible journey. When did I start? It must have been like 5.5 years ago now. 5.5 years ago, I started. Actually, yeah, it is October. So yeah, 5.5 years ago, I started, and wow, here we are with 200,000 subscribers. I remember saying after I hit 10k, I'd be like, oh yeah, I think 10k is the limit. I'm not really going to go much higher. And I said the same thing for 50,000, said the same thing for 100, said the same thing for 150. And I'm still sort of thinking the same thing for 200. So we'll sort of see how it goes. Why is Sainz ahead of Gasly? Gasly and Albon are starting in the pit lane, folks. So that's why they are in 19th and 20th. Okay. Yeah, here we go then. Antonelli and Russell just in the pits. They're probably going to come out on slightly different tyres. I mean, some drivers may experiment on the slicks right now, but the thing is, you know, we are 30 minutes before the start of the race. You cannot afford to put your cars in the barriers right now. We've seen Piastri lock up, we've seen Russell lock up, we've seen loads of drivers lock up as they experiment on the circuit, and yeah, they can't afford a mistake right now because that would be catastrophic, and potentially, you do not even start the race, depending on how severe the impact is, if their team has the spare parts, and stuff like that. If Liam Lawson crashes again, then I don't know if the team will have enough spare parts. If he damages the front right suspension, then he's already used 3 sets of parts this weekend, so yeah, I don't know about how many more he's going to have. The tyre information. Yes, folks, I will put up the tyre information. So these are the predicted strategies for the race. Start the race on the mediums, then go on to the hards. But the question is, are they even going to start the race on the mediums? Because the intermediate tyres look to be the better tyres as of right now. Yeah, who knows? Then it'll be go on to the hards and then go on to the softs. But, if they do start the race on the mediums or on the inters, then could they put on a set of hards and go directly to the end? Could they, or will they have to stop again? I don't really know. Pirelli say the hard tyres fall off a cliff about 40 laps or so in. So 40 laps and then they fall off a cliff. So it wouldn't be the wisest decision, to say the least, to start the race on a set of... to start the race on inters and then go immediately to the hards right till the end. Why are they driving on the track now? So what they're doing is the cars get stored in the garages overnight and they're checking everything works. And the other thing that they're doing is also driving around, getting a feel for the conditions. Currently, they're out on intermediate tyres because the track was slightly wet a little bit earlier on. So we'll see if they start the race on the inters, if they start the race on the softs. Because the thing is, the teams can start the race on the inters, but most likely they're going to have to pit within 4 or 5 laps. And are they going to gain a full pit stop's worth of lap time in those 4 or 5 laps on the inters compared to the slicks? Because there is no standing water anywhere. There is a lot of damp patches, but no standing water. So yeah, starting on the inters will be a tough choice to make, because for a fact you're going to have to sacrifice a 22-second long pit stop to get your tires changed. Is it the longest race? It's one of the longest races. It used to be the longest race when they also had a few extra corners in the circuit to make it extra slow. We had, I think, 3 more corners at this part of the circuit. A right-hander, left-hander, right-hander. When we had that on the circuit, I think it was the longest race on the Formula One calendar. But because now we've got rid of that and now it's just a direct straight, the drivers do their laps much quicker. They save about 8 seconds per lap by avoiding those set of corners, and I think that just puts it under the longest race in Formula One. Okay. Pit lane speed limit is 80 now. Yeah, that's the other thing. The pit lane speed limit has changed. So I think this number is incorrect. I think they've just taken the number from last year, but I will update it, because I said that it had gone from about 24 seconds to 18 seconds. And then they still think that it's 22, but I don't know if they've just pulled the number from the last year's thing, because of course, it's very easily, if you don't know that the pit lane speed limit's changed, it's going to take the same amount of time from the 2024 pit stops for the 2025. So once the first driver comes into the pits, I'll pay attention and I'll see if the drivers lose 22 seconds or if they lose 18, and then I'll update the number. But I have a feeling that 22 seconds has just been taken from last year's graphic. No, the pit lane speed limit went up. It went from 60 kilometers per hour to 80 kilometers per hour, so that reduces the amount of time that you spend in the pit lane. Oh, track temperature's just gone up again. It's gone up 4 degrees Celsius. I don't know how that has happened, but obviously it's the night time, so it's not like the sun has just come out to start warming up the racetrack. But track temperature is up, so interesting. Ian Pears, thanks for the $2 donation. Very much is appreciated there, buddy. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for helping out the channel. Alrighty, we have got 6,000 people tuning in. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button as well. It goes a long way to helping out the channel. Hopefully we can hit 10,000 subscribers pretty soon, and then I'll get the face reveal underway, as I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. Yeah. Should be good. Also, folks, do you think Lando Norris is going to have another bad pit stop? If we look back, I think the previous 4 races now, Lando Norris has had botched pit stops by the McLaren team. And, yeah, at this point, is Norris just going to get out of the car and change the tyres himself? Because things have not been going well for Lando Norris when it comes to pits. Sometimes the slow pit stop, sometimes the rear tyre stuck, sometimes the front tyre. We'll see how it goes. How many pit stops are they saying they're going to be today? Well, if the drivers start on the inters, it's probably going to be a 2-stop. If the drivers start on the slicks, it's going to be a 1-stop. Yeah. Also, all of the clutch data that the teams will have gathered is all incorrect. That's the other thing. So this is going to really make the start super duper interesting because, at the end of free practice 1, at the end of free practice 2, during the end of the qualifying sessions and stuff, all of the drivers, they do their practice starts. And at that point, the circuit was really rubbered in. There was loads of rubber deposited onto the racetrack. And now it has literally just rained 30 minutes ago. It is no longer raining anymore. Just to clarify, it is not going to rain until 5 hours after the race finishes. But it did rain 30 minutes ago. And that means all of the rubber that was deposited on the racetrack has now just been washed away down into the drainage. We've got a completely fresh track. So all of the clutch information that the teams have is all wrong, which means that whichever team adjusts the clutch settings to be absolutely perfect, they are going to get the better launch. They're going to get less wheel spin, and then they are, of course, going to make some overtakes in towards turn number 1. So who knows what will happen? McLaren haven't got the best track record of getting their clutch settings correct. In pretty much, the majority of last year, Norris had pretty bad race starts, but Piastri also, McLaren's just for whatever reason could never get a good race start. And maybe that'll happen again. Is it inters or slicks right now? How long if it's inters? Well, the drivers were doing their reconnaissance laps on intermediate tyres. Now, a lot of the teams will just do that as a precaution because they don't want to go out on slicks, find out it's too slippery, and then crash. So it could be intermediate tyres, but I have a feeling that the inters, if they do go out on inters, is going to last for a maximum of 4 or 5 laps, and then they're going to come into the pits. So then you have to ask yourself, within the space of 5 laps, am I going to gain 22 seconds of lap time because I'm going to have to do an extra pit stop? And, if the answer is yes, if you think you're going to gain 22 seconds of lap time, then sure, go ahead, start on the inters. If not, it's going to be the slicks to start the race on. So yeah, a little bit difficult to predict. Oh look, track temperature's gone down again. It's gone down to 32 degrees Celsius. I don't know, someone likes pouring water all over the sensor or something that's bringing down the track temperature. Who knows? Okay. Part number 4 has been reported major issues called skill issues. Well, we'll see how it goes for Lando Norris, but yeah, he didn't really get all that close to Piastri or Max during quali yesterday. But he got pole here last year, and then during the press conference and stuff, he was saying, oh, it's not the same sort of feeling I had last year coming into Singapore. But if you think about it, last year Singapore was around about the same point in the calendar, and everyone was talking about, oh, maybe Lando Norris can win the championship if XYZ happens. And yeah, so everyone was sort of hyping up Lando Norris. Come on, you can have a fight for the championship. So everyone was sort of on his side at that point, and now it's very much sort of the opposite. Lando Norris, can he deal with the pressure? He's this many points behind Oscar Piastri. Can he close the gap? And that of course affects the driver's mental state. It also affects how they perform on the track. As much as the drivers want to be sort of immune to it. The media can say whatever, and the drivers will deliver. It's some drivers do get affected by it, some don't. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay. F1 Gamer, were there any support races if they gripped up the circuit and rubbered it in? There was the F1 Academy, but it was raining during the F1 Academy, so yeah, they will have not really rubbered in or gripped up the circuit whatsoever. So the circuit is also going to be like FP1. The drivers were sending it full send around quali in Q3, and the conditions are going to be totally different today because all of the rubber that they were driving on that was giving them that extra 5-10% grip has all disappeared. So who knows what will happen? Who knows what will happen? Yeah. Okay. Also, folks, if you do have any other predictions or any other questions that you'd like me to make or ask, then be sure to let me know. Okay. F1 Gamer, my favourite track. I've got to say Interlagos or Suzuka. Those are one of the two best tracks, I'd say, on the Formula 1 calendar. I would like to see the Portuguese Grand Prix back, the one in Portimao at the Algarve race circuit. What a racetrack that was. It was so much elevation change on that circuit. It's genuinely like a roller coaster. I think that should be back as well. Okay. Mercedes overheating issues, please. Well, we'll see how the Mercedes team deal with it. A lot of teams do run pretty big cooling packages for Singapore because, there is top speed isn't really so much a factor here. So there's not that big of a penalty to running a lot of cooling. At Baku, top speed's super duper important. So if you run a bigger cooling package, you have a slower top speed. So it's very, very critical. But here in Singapore, you're barely even reaching up into 8th gear most of the time. So yeah, it's not really a problem for the majority of the teams, and because of that, they'll put on a pretty big cooling package, and that should help them out. But of course, you don't have a cooling package for your tires. That is down to the drivers to manage, and we'll see if George Russell can do it. F1 Gamer, you should stream F2. That would be good. I would stream F2, but unfortunately, I don't have access to the data for Formula 2. I also think a lot less people would be interested in it, but I could start a second channel, F2 Gamer or something. Yeah. Silverstone is pretty much the perfect track, one of the few classic tracks. Yeah, Silverstone's also a pretty good one as well. Okay, which driver do you think is going to win this race? Well, if I knew which driver was going to win, then I'd put a bet on it. But I have a feeling that Oscar Piastri is going to be putting together a good drive today. Oscar Piastri might win, but it's going to be a close-fought battle. There's going to be some strategy involved, and also it's going to be at least a two-way fight for the race win. And I think Antonelli might score a podium this weekend. So who knows? How many predicted safety cars? We've had a safety car in Singapore every single year since 2017, apart from 2024. Last year we didn't have a safety car, and last year's race was also kind of boring, but we have had a safety car in every other occurrence of the Singapore GP. So yeah, pretty much a 100% chance of a safety car around here. How many red flags? I don't think we'll get a red flag, to be honest. Typically, a safety car is normally enough to clear any sort of issues up. Yeah. Alrighty then, so what else have we got going on? DRS, of course, will be getting disabled for the start of the race, and 18 minutes now till we get underway for the race. Well, for the formation lap, and then, of course, the race after that. Where can I watch the race live? Folks, if you do want to watch the race live and actually see the footage rather than just the data, what you can do is get Surfshark VPN using the link in the description. You get Surfshark VPN, join a Swiss VPN server, and go onto Google and then search, SRF Formula 1, and then you can watch it via that. So that's what I'm using to watch it. It does have German commentary, so you just mute the German commentary, listen to me, and you sync it up, and that's about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, all the drivers are on the grid now. Quite a lot of them wearing the cooling vest. I think the FIA have said that they have to wear it. But yeah, some of the drivers not too happy about having to wear the cooling vest. Some drivers do deal with it well, I think George Russell may have some problems. I think he did have some problems last year, actually, in Singapore. But it's a tough one. Humidity is up here at 78% humidity. You can just see here, it's slightly cut off the screen, but 78% humidity, very, very humid in Singapore. Air temperature is also pretty high as well. But, if you grew up in Australia or something where it's really hot, then I'm sure it wouldn't be too much of a problem compared to if you grew up in the UK where it's always raining. Which in that situation I could see why it'd be a problem. Okay. Also, folks, Carlos Sainz, Alex Albon did get disqualified yesterday. I think they qualified 12th and 13th. They got disqualified because their rear wing flap opened up too much. It's only allowed to open up 8.5 centimeters, but I think so Carlos Sainz's and Alex Albon's, both of theirs opened 8.6 centimeters instead of 8.5, and breaking the rules, so they got disqualified for that. Alex Albon has decided, I'm going to start from the pit lane. There's no point starting from the back. I might as well get some setup changes in. Gasly has also thought the same thing, and Carlos Sainz was like, no, I'm happy with my setup. I'll start in 18th position. It's not the end of the world. So that is, that's that. I cannot tolerate anything above 15C. Yeah, we've got people all around the world. I'm sure there are people sort of from the warmer places of the world, like like India, like Australia, where they're like, oh, colder than 15 degrees Celsius, I need to put on a jacket and a jumper and everything. So that's it's just sort of what you're used to, really. How can they measure the opening of the wing so accurately? Well, they've got their precision instruments, essentially. The most of the time they can measure it with the accuracy to 0.001 of a millimeter or something, or like 0.01 of a millimeter. So super duper accurate equipment that they have. And that's why... yeah, I mean, it's sort of the job of the FIA to have super accurate equipment. Otherwise, all of the teams would just try and cheat and say, oh no, your equipment's wrong. So that's just how it goes. Okay. Why can I watch Formula 1 for free? Folks, if you do want to watch Formula 1, just as I said a moment earlier, you've got to pay $2 a month for Surfshark VPN, but then watching SRF is free as long as you've got a Swiss VPN. So... yeah, go ahead and do that. Apart from that, I do not know any other methods. We're 15 minutes away from the start of the race now. Looking very, very good indeed. We've got 9,000 people tuned into the stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And this is going to be an absolutely mega race. I'll quickly just bring up the race pace simulations here. So what you can see is that McLaren are the fastest team on paper. Okay, on paper, of course, all of this stuff doesn't translate to reality, but on paper, McLaren are the fastest. Then then Red Bull is about a 10.5 back, then Mercedes is 0.2 back. But as we always know, you do need quite a big pace difference to actually make those overtakes work. Around here in Singapore, probably if you're within like 0.3, if you're 0.3 quicker than the driver ahead of you, you could probably get an overtake done thanks to the 4 DRS zones that we've got in this track, the most out of any other Formula 1 track. And yeah, we'll see how that plays out because, of course, Russell will be starting at the top, but he doesn't have the quickest car, at least on paper. We'll see how he does, If he had enough pace to get pole position, surely he could have some more pace as well to get, to hold on to this race lead for at least the first stint or so. Also, folks, what do you think? Do you think that we should get, the drivers should start on intermediate tyres, or do you think they should start on slicks? Because the track is slightly damp, it is going to be a bit of a slip and slide for the drivers that are on slick tyres. So do you take that gamble, start the race on slicks, and potentially crash out, or do you take the gamble, start the race on the inters, and then lose 5-6 seconds because your pace is so much worse? Oh no, lose 5-6 seconds because you have to come into the pits and eventually switch onto the slick tyres. Slicks will be fine. Yeah, these are experienced drivers, the best drivers in the world, so surely they can be using the slick tyres and get away with it. We'll be getting the tyre information coming through in around about 5 minutes time or so, 5 minutes. And then, yeah, they should post which tyres that they're going to be using. First corner is going to be interesting. George is not going to let Max bully him like Lando. Well, we'll see how it goes, because George Russell is going to be starting on the outside line. So just to sort of show you, visualize what's going on the opening lap. Well, this is the starting grid, right? So let's go back. Let's go back to about here. There we go. Okay, so this is the start-finish straight, and the pole position slot is just here on the right-hand side. You can see that it's just gone by. So the drivers who are on who have got odd numbers, so George Russell, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, they are all going to be starting on the right-hand side of the grid. That side of the grid is the outside line for turn number 1, but also it is the clean part of the grid. Well, actually, considering that it's rained, there's no sort of clean or dirty side. It's all pretty much level playing field. So there's no clean side, there's no dirty side. It's just George Russell's on the outside line, but he is going to start a few meters ahead, and then we are going to have... And then we're going to have the drivers with the even numbers starting on the left-hand side of the grid, and they're going to be sending it up the inside at turn number 1. So who knows what will happen. But essentially, the thing is, though, from here, so from the pole position slot, George Russell is going to accelerate for about 100 meters, and then again, he's just going to start slamming on the brakes again for turn number 1. You haven't actually got that big of a distance to make the overtake. So even if Max Verstappen gets an incredible race start and George Russell gets a bunch of wheel spin, the fact is he's only got 90 meters, 100 meters to accelerate before he has to slam on the brakes again for turn number 1, which is Yeah, so he's going to need something incredible, and Russell's going to have something go majorly wrong if he's going to lose the position to Max. Or of course, Max just sends it down the inside, says, "I'm coming through. There's no way that you're stopping me." So yeah, Max could very well do that. We've seen him do it in the past. But maybe George Russell's going to come and cut him off immediately in towards turn number 1, saying, "No, thank you, mate. How about you sit back there in second place?" So. Who knows what will happen, but it's going to be pretty exciting to say the least. Okay. We've got 11,000 people watching the stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button as well, folks. As it says there, just under the Singapore GP track. Once we hit 10,000 likes, I will be doing a face reveal. So yeah, we did hit 200k yesterday, which is incredible. Really big thank you to everyone that did subscribe yesterday, and big thank you to everyone that's been watching for all of this time. In fact, folks, would you mind just putting in the chat, what was the first race that you watched of the channel? I know a lot of people, started watching back in 2022, but I think 2024 was the biggest year that the channel has grew. So maybe it's maybe a lot of races in 2024, but do let me know. How do you contact me business related? Well, I've got an Instagram, F1_gamer_5. Feel free to send me a DM there. But yeah, we've got a lot of people from 2024, yeah, by the looks of it. And Dutch GP 2025, yeah, a lot of new people from Silverstone as well. Yeah, I think Silverstone was quite possibly one of my best pieces of commentary. So I would understand why people listen to that and then, of course, carry on watching. And of course, Silverstone this year was great because Nico Hulkenberg got a podium. So yeah, a lot of new people actually. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. When we were back in 2021, I had 1,000 subscribers or something. So. Oh, Azerbaijan 2024, yeah, 100k subs. And this is also the 101st stream. I don't know if you guys, if everyone tuned into the last race, which was the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That was my 100th Grand Prix. But this is the 101st, and we've hit 200k. Also, we've just got a message here from Race Control, actually. Risk of rain is 30%. I never really believe the Race Control risk of rain because they always overestimate it, but maybe you want to believe it. Maybe we will get some rain. Mark, thank you for the donation. Very much is appreciated there, mate. Also, I think I can give out some channel memberships. Yes, I can actually. So any 5 people randomly that have typed in the chat so far, I think one of you or 5 of you could just win a channel membership here. I think I can just send them out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so 8 minutes now till we get underway for the Grand Prix, and let's sort of go from the bottom then. We'll go from the bottom, talk about each of the drivers, and see what happens. So we've got Alex Albon there in 20th position, of course, getting disqualified, not ideal for them. And of course, for the Williams team, what they need to do is damage limitation, really. You can see Isaac Hadjar is up there in 8th position. We've got Alonso in 10th position, and they're going to be looking to score points, bring RB and Aston Martin close to the Williams team. I think Aston Martin are a little bit far away. They would have needed Alonso and Stroll both up in the points if they want to close up to Williams by the end of the season, but this, of course, is not helping them out, the fact that both Williams are disqualified. So, yeah, maybe Aston's can get close. Isaac Hadjar will be looking good, and he'll be looking to score some points as well. So we'll see how much damage limitation Williams can do, but it's going to be a tough race for them. Pierre Gasly as well. I mean, Alpine are down there in 20th position, and they really haven't scored. Sorry, not 20th position, 10th position, but they haven't really scored many points. Only 20 points in their name, and I think all of them are from Pierre Gasly. Then we have got Carlos Sainz again, great podium that he got last weekend out, but yeah, it's another weekend, and unfortunately disqualified for him. So from podium to disqualified, I was going to say podium to pit lane, but no, Carlos Sainz isn't starting from the pits. Alex Albon is, though. And then we've got Esteban Ocon, 17th position for him. He's quite consistently actually getting beaten by his rookie teammate. Oliver Behrman has never driven at the Singapore Grand Prix racetrack before. He has, this is his first time here in the Haas car, and he's up in 9th position. And Esteban Ocon, who's been here pretty much every single year, I'd say since 2016, maybe 2016, 2015 or something. Yeah, he is not doing so great, down in 17th position. Colapinto in 16th. Still, somehow Colapinto is in the Formula One grid. I don't know how. He's really not been doing that well, but he's got lots of cash to go with him, so I guess that helps. Very much similar to Lance Stroll at the start of his career. I think Stroll's, of course, got a little bit better as the years have gone on. But yeah, he's in 15th position. He's got out-qualified by Fernando Alonso every single Grand Prix this season. Every single Grand Prix. We are 18 races in, and the qualifying head-to-head between the two Aston Martins is 18-0. Yeah. It's quite the big difference, isn't it? Bortoleto in 14th. It was all right for him, but yeah, he'll be looking to score some points. Tsunoda, a big way off Max Verstappen and getting knocked out in Q2. Not ideal, really, for Tsunoda, but yeah, he'll just be hoping that next year will be better, because he's sort of just playing the waiting game until the end of this season. And the question is he even going to be driving next year for the Red Bull team, or is he getting demoted to the Racing Bulls team, or is he just leaving Formula One and starting a restaurant? Who knows? Also, the tyre information should be coming through shortly. That'll be interesting to see who's on which tyres. But you can see here, we're getting some information. Stroll's just been told over the radio, through turn number 16, it's very damp. Through turn number 17, it's much drier. So, actually, look at this. So, Stroll's just been told the inside of turn 17 is much drier. So, all of the drivers are going to be taking slightly different lines now to try and find the driest parts of the circuit, not the dampest parts of the circuit. Also on the formation lap, we're going to see a lot of drivers weaving left and right to warm the tyres up. But the other thing is, the best drivers, they'll be experimenting on the curbs. They'll be looking to see, is this curb slippery? Is it dry? Is the inside line on this corner slippery? And, tyre information coming through. We've got some drivers starting on softs, not all of them. We've got the rest on mediums. I think everyone is either on softs or mediums. Nobody's on the intermediate tyres. So everyone was just playing it safe. And they're also, with the first couple of laps, are going to be pretty tough. And so quickly, just to hear, I'll put up the strategy options as well. So the drivers that are starting on the softs, they'll be looking to go onto the mediums later on. The drivers that are starting on, they'll be looking to go onto the hards later on. The drivers on the mediums will also be looking to go to the hards later on. But the advantage that the drivers that are starting on the softs, the big advantage that they have, is that their softs are going to warm up instantly, like this. Like within half a lap, they'll be switched on and ready to go. That is especially important when the track is damp, because that's what, if your tyres aren't up to temperature and then you drive over a damp patch, then your tyre temperature just plummets through the floor again, and then you have to build it all up again. And with the soft tyres, you don't have that problem that much. So Max Verstappen, his first couple of laps is going to be super strong, and he's going to be trying to get ahead of George Russell. We've got Isaac Hadjar, who's also starting on the soft. He'll be looking to make some overtakes on the Ferraris and Lando Norris maybe, and we'll see how it works out. But here we are at the streets of Singapore, around number 18. We've got a 4.9 kilometer long circuit, only 5 meters of elevation change, but 4 DRS zones. A lap record that was set by George Russell yesterday, a 129.1. And the tyres that we've got from Pirelli are the C5, the C4, and the C3. The gap between the tyres is about 4 or 5 tenths of a second. All right. Here we go. Everyone's using the cooling vests because it is pretty toasty out there in Singapore. 28 degrees air temperature, 81% humidity. I cannot imagine how sticky that is. But it's going to be an exciting race, to say the least. So, starting from the back of the pack, both drivers starting from the pit lane, Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly, both with new setups for the race today, and both starting on a medium set of tyres. Then we've got Carlos Sainz, after getting disqualified, he's dropped down into 18th, then Esteban Ocon in 17th position. Franco Colapinto in 16th, starting on the softs alongside Stroll, who is also starting on the soft tyres. Gabriel Bortoleto in 14th position, first time at this circuit. He'll be looking to stay away from the barriers. We've got Yuki Tsunoda in 13th position, also on the softs, looking to make up some places and hopefully score some points for the Red Bull team. Liam Lawson in 12th, looking to stay away from the barriers. He's already crashed in the barriers 2 times this weekend. He does not want to make it a 3rd time. Then we've got Nico Hülkenberg in 11th position with the medium tyres, and he's going to be... we'll see what the Hulk can do. This race might be a tricky one with the strategy, might be a tricky one with the safety car, and we'll see how it plays out for him. Fernando Alonso in the top 10 on a set of soft tyres. He'll be looking to make up some places on Behrman, Hadjar, and maybe even the Ferraris if he gets a good launch off turn number 1. Then we've got Behrman in 9th, Isaac Hadjar in 8th. Hamilton and Leclerc in the third row of the grid. Actually, no, they're not on the third row of the grid. They're in the Hamilton's on the third row and Leclerc's on the fourth row. Norris in fifth position, Antonelli in fourth, with a great quali from him. Unfortunately, he couldn't put it together at the end of Q3. He was really good in Q1 and Q2, but Q3 couldn't put it all together. Maybe the pressure was just getting to him. But Oscar Piastri in third position. Starting on the right-hand side of the grid, he's going to be on the outside line, is Oscar Piastri. Max Verstappen in P2, starting on the left-hand side of the grid, he is going to have the inside line. And then, of course, we have George Russell, Mr. Saturday. What a sensational lap that was from him yesterday. Man and machine absolutely perfectly in sync. Not a twitch of oversteer from George Russell on his entire flying lap. Super smooth on the steering wheel. And yeah, just incredible all around from George Russell yesterday to secure that pole position and lap record. He starts the race on the mediums under pressure from Max immediately. All right, folks, we've got 24,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hope you are enjoying the coverage. Be sure to smash the like button. And once we do hit 10,000 likes, I'll be doing a face reveal. And we're going to have 62 laps of racing around the streets of the Marina Bay. And the formation lap will be getting underway in a matter of seconds. All right. So here we go then. Formation lap is underway. Let me get rid of this little message. George Russell leads the way from the front. Very, very nicely done. And then Max Verstappen follows him out. And yeah, Max also, it looks like he's his tyres are squirming away from the start. You know, trying to build temperature immediately. Doing lots of burnouts. Oh, that's the other thing. Max fully slammed on the throttle, just dropped the clutch, and what he was doing, he was dropping a bunch of rubber onto his own launch path. So Max is there, starting in the second row, starting in second place, and he just dropped the clutch. All of the rubber from his soft tires just deposited itself onto the track, getting him a better launch off the race start. This is what Max Verstappen does that none of the other drivers do. I don't know how, but he always has one more trick left in his sleeve to pull out. So very nice job there from Max, and that's going to help him off the race start. I mean, he's already got the soft tires, which is going to be pretty good anyway. But here we go. Yeah, formation lap, always challenging. Remember to stay out the barriers, and yeah, just weaving left and right, building up the tyre temperature, getting those brakes up to temp as well, and then of course getting those clutch settings dialed in. You know, you don't want to be going into anti-stall like Oscar Piastri. You don't want to be getting a lot of wheel spin like Lando Norris last year. You've just got to get it absolutely perfect, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Max is on old softs. Yeah, Max doesn't have any fresh sets of soft tyres because he made it through into Q3. Same thing for Hadjar, same thing for Alonso. They all used their soft tyres. So this was one of the tyres that he used during qualifying yesterday. Sainz and Albon are in 18th and 20th because they got disqualified yesterday. Their DRS flap opened up too wide, and that meant that, yeah, it broke the regulations, and because of that, they got disqualified, so they're starting back at the back of the pack. And just to reiterate, Gasly and Albon starting from the pits. They'll make their way back into the pit lane once they find their way at the final corner. Brilliant. We have got We've got 30,000 people tuned in. Folks, be sure to hit the like button once we hit 10,000 likes. I will be doing a face reveal. We're nearly halfway there. And thank you for subscribing as well. We've got a lot of people that have hit the subscribe button today and yesterday. Means a lot, folks. Means a lot. The subscriber goal should have been 2,000 and I think 300, but we'll see how it goes. Doesn't really matter because we hit 200k. iCave Games, thanks for the donation. All right, here we go then, folks. Here we go. We have got George Russell. He's lined up on his grid position, parked up at the front. Then we have got Max Verstappen just behind him on the other side of the racetrack. Then Oscar Piastri in third place. Antonelli in fourth, and he's also on the inside line is Kimi Antonelli, so he's so Oscar Piastri's gonna have to be careful. Is Antonelli just gonna send one down the inside against Piastri? Only time will tell, folks. Only time will tell. All right, this is it, 62 laps of the Marina Bay Street Circuit. The final couple of drivers just crawling out of the final two corners, getting their burnouts done, getting the rear tyre temperatures up, and Yeah, Gasly and Albon find their way to the start of the pit lane. Thanks, Banana Goat, for the donation. We have got the medical car lined up at the back of the grid. All lights are flashing, and we have got the green flag waving as well. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Lights out, and away we go. Great start there for George Russell. Going in towards turn number 1, he does maintain the lead. Norris gets ahead of Antonelli. Nice move there. Antonelli, a pretty bad race start. He loses out to Leclerc as well. And then we continue on towards turn number 3, and it's getting extremely feisty. Norris gets ahead of Oscar Piastri. What a move. Piastri, playing it safe, did not want to crash, and Norris up into 3rd place. Great race start. He's in P3 and ahead of his championship rival. Then we've got Antonelli chasing down Leclerc in towards turn number 4, and yeah, Piastri defends against Leclerc, and Leclerc defends against Antonelli. It is single file now through the middle sector. Job number 1 for George Russell is already completed. He's already broken the DRS to Max Verstappen. 1.3 seconds is the gap. Great launch off the line, and Max on these soft tyres, he's got to act now, because the soft tyres are going to wear out in about 5 laps times. The mediums are going to be quicker than the softs, so Max has got to go now. All right, Norris has come over the radio. I've had contact. Just keep an eye out on everything. So Norris had contact with someone. I'm not sure exactly who, but yeah, he's up there in 3rd place, and he's looking to hold on to it. Yeah, Russell is just driving off into the sunset, isn't he? 1.4 seconds is the gap. DRS not yet enabled, folks. Not yet enabled. It will get enabled on this next lap. Okay, and yeah, unfortunately, Antonelli down 2 places, Hamilton down 1 as well. But DRS will be getting enabled now. So, oh, someone cut the corner. Oscar Piastri cutting turn number 17. He's not going to... That's actually set him back. He's 1.4 seconds off the back of Norris. Under pressure from Charles Leclerc. Another mistake on the opening lap from Oscar Piastri. And he loses, what, the 0.6 of a second? The 0.6 isn't that big of a gap. He loses the DRS. That is the big thing. And we'll see how that works out for him now, because Norris has now got DRS on Max Verstappen. Through the final sector, Verstappen goes purple, and through the middle sector, Russell is purple, and through the first sector as well. It's looking good so far, but Norris is going to be chasing down Max Verstappen really quickly. Yeah, not a great start there for Piastri. I mean, 2 mistakes now on the opening lap of races. He did it once in Baku, crashed out. This time just avoided the barriers and cut the corner. He's not going to lose out anything, because he's not going to get a penalty or anything, because he did, of course... Oh, let's have a look at this replay here. So it was contact between Norris and Piastri had contact, and Norris sort of nudged Piastri towards the wall. He sort of got boxed in and then had to made sort of contact. But Norris, we've got information here. Small amount of damage to the front wing, nothing to worry about. That's the team radio message that has just come to Lando Norris. So very, very minor damage for Norris for today's race. And maybe they'll change the front wing, but probably not, but since it is only a small little thing. All right, Norris. Oh, folks, this is the big thing. Yesterday in quali, Lando Norris blocked, well, he didn't block, but he gave Max Verstappen dirty air on his pole position lap. And Max Verstappen said, "That's noted, I'll remember that." And these 2 drivers are now going to be fighting for position. They're going to be fighting for 2nd place. Russell sets the fastest lap of the race. He's 1.5 seconds clear. Max is not getting DRS by the looks of it. But Lando Norris is now behind Max Verstappen, and we'll see how Max Verstappen takes it. Is he just going to push Norris into the barrier? Like, what does that noted, and I'll remember that for next time mean? Oh, Piastri's over the radio. So are we cool with Lando just barging me out the way there, or what's to go? And they're saying, we're looking into it. Oh no, what are they going to do? Put team orders? Is Lando Norris even going to listen? Is he going to say, swap around the positions because you crashed into Piastri on the opening lap? But it's been noted. It's been noted. Lap 1, turn 3 incident involving Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri for causing a collision. So... maybe Norris will get a penalty. Who knows? But it's been noted. We'll see if it goes under investigation, or if there's no further investigation. We'll see how it goes. Alonso, purple in the first sector. Very, very nice. Must have got a very nice toe there on down the back straight to get purple in the first sector, because the Aston isn't all that quick. Yeah, Norris's end plate is broken, and that could, I mean, that if that falls off and goes flying into his tyre, that could cause a puncture, but most likely these end plates are very minor sort of details. We've got the data lagging by the looks of it, hopefully no more lag, yeah, just little glitches out here and there. All right, why is Yuki at the back? He lost 4 places off the race start. I don't know. We haven't seen the replay, but just a very bad race start there for Yuki Tsunoda. And Piastri is not closing the gap up to his teammate. In fact, he's losing out. Of course, Norris does have the DRS on Max Verstappen, which helps him sort of gain just free lap time. You know, he's gaining about 3 or 4 tenths for free. But yeah, Piastri is losing 3 or 4 tenths now to Lando Norris every single lap because of that one mistake on the opening lap. Oh, what are they saying? They're coming over the radio. We're still reviewing that incident, but we'll look into it. But what I need to do is focus on what you can do here, control the controllables. So Piastri is basically just, I think what they've basically said to Piastri, just get on with the driving. We're looking into it, but we're probably not going to do anything. It's like McLaren have got their own race control. Like McLaren are looking at every investigation. They're looking at the telemetry. Oh, was it Lando Norris's fault? Should we swap them around? Is it fair? Like, it's interesting to say the least. I've never seen this before in a championship battle. Russell is looking good though. 2.3 seconds up the road for George Russell. Now he's on those medium tyres as well. So pretty solid, and as the laps go on now, folks, the soft tyres are going to get worse and worse for Max Verstappen, and the mediums are going to get better and better for Lando Norris. So yeah, we shall see how Verstappen deals with that. Will he keep Lando Norris at bay? But by the looks of it, look at that gap. It's 0.999 of a second. So he's barely within DRS. And I think on the next DRS detection point, he might even lose it as well. So here they come through the DRS detection point. And yes, Norris does lose DRS. He had a free 4 tenths worth of lap time for the previous, 4 laps or something. And still, he drops out of the DRS of Max Verstappen. All right, Antonelli right on the back of Leclerc. Antonelli does have some pretty good pace, and the Mercedes are faster than the Ferraris, but Antonelli had a terrible opening lap, terrible first couple of corners, and yeah, Charles Leclerc jumped him, and he is now stuck behind him. George Russell, another fastest lap of the race, a 1:37.5. That is half a second quicker than Max Verstappen's previous lap. Half a second. George Russell is flying. All right, yeah, track temperature's 35 degrees. It's not looking too bad for George Russell. If it does creep up to 40, it might be a bit of a problem. But as of right now, it looks okay for George, and things are going well. And the Mercs quick. Yeah, honestly, George is so good about Singapore this weekend. I don't know what it is, or if the car's just the perfect setup, or Russell's just having a really good weekend. We haven't seen this side of George Russell. We haven't seen this side of the Mercedes, really, for quite a while, since Canada, really. So very, very nicely done from George so far. And do you think Max can undercut Russell to take the lead? Well, that is the thing. Max, what you can do in Singapore, the undercut is super powerful. You can gain 3, 4, 5 seconds worth of lap time via the undercut in Singapore. We've seen it done before. I think Seb Vettel did it 2019, gained 4 seconds on the undercut compared to Charles Leclerc. So yeah, you know, if Max wants to, he could try it, but the problem is that he's on soft tyres. They're going to wear out much, much quicker, so he's going to have to come into the pits probably in the next 10 laps or so. Russell can go another 15, 20 laps on these tyres, so the undercut opportunity is not as strong in that scenario. If they were both on the same tyres, then it could work, but as of right now, it's not ideal. Okay. You know, maybe they'll just give Lando Norris a slow pit stop, and then they'll swap around the 2 McLaren drivers that way, because Norris has been getting some pretty slow pit stops quite consistently, actually. Championship is at stake. Yeah, it is Norris's championship. It's Piastri's championship as well. You know, it's what is it? So it's 25 points for first place, 18 for second, 15 for third, and 12 for fourth. So there's a 3-point gap there between Norris and Piastri during this race. No rain on the radar. Exactly, folks. No rain is on the radar. If it is going to rain, it's going to rain 4 hours after the race finishes. So not much to worry about for the drivers. Yeah, Norris is out of DRS. Maybe he is saving his tyres because he's obviously going for the race win here. He needs to get ahead of Max and also Russell. And how is he going to do that? Saving his tyres. George Russell is not saving his tyres. He's set another fastest lap of the race, and he's now set 2 purple sectors. This guy just does not care. I mean, he's got a lot of clean air. He's got about 2/3 of the racetrack ahead of him as clean air. So, yeah, just incredible there from George. And wow. All right, folks. Also, be sure to hit the like button once we hit 10,000 likes. I will be doing a face reveal. We've got, the rules were we'd hit 200k subs and then also 10,000 likes. So here we are. We'll hit 10,000 likes soon enough. We've got 40,000 people watching. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Very much is appreciated, folks. And yeah, 40,000 people. That's pretty mega. Russell is doing a Seb 2015. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good there from Russell. Just. Yeah, Seb's pretty good around this racetrack, isn't he? He's got 5 race wins around Singapore, and yeah, Russell is honest. Another purple first sector. This man is unstoppable. Wow. I mean, okay, I've got to say, George Russell. When I watched his qualifying lap yesterday, not a single bit of oversteer for George Russell. He was so smooth on the power, so smooth on the steering, millimeters away from the barrier on every single occasion. The perfect blend of man and machine yesterday from George Russell. And he looks to be unstoppable so far. There are still 56 laps left. You know, he could still make a mistake like he did back a couple of years ago. But as of right now, things looking world-class for George Russell. We'll look a little bit further down the field, see what's been going on there. We've got Colapinto up 3 places. That's a good job there from Colapinto. Oh, he's, of course, on those soft tyres, so he's made up some places. Oh, yellow flag. Who's that? Where's the yellow flag been called? They've just called a yellow flag. They've called a yellow flag at turn number 6. That makes no sense. But depending on how much the drivers slow down, someone could be they've disabled the yellow flag. Maybe there was just a little piece of debris or something. But yeah, I was a bit confused. I was looking at turn number 10, expecting there to be a yellow flag there, and it was at turn number 6. But yeah, further down the field, of course, Stroll's made up some places as well. Of course, he's on those soft tyres, which has helped him out. And then, apart from that, everyone's sort of just doing their own race, really. A few drivers are within DRS. Lawson trying to overtake Hulkenberg, Ocon trying to overtake Bortoletto. But apart from that, everyone's sort of spreading out, trying to conserve their tyres so they can pull off an undercut. George Russell, another fastest lap of the race. It might have been Lando's wing. We'll sort of get a shot of Lando's wing soon enough, and then we'll find out what was that little piece of debris. Was it Lando Norris's wing? Was it something else? Max's tyre strategy. Folks, I'll quickly just flash up the tyre strategy from Pirelli up on the screen. But you start the race on the softs, you go on to you pit around lap number 20, 25 or so, and then if you start the race on the mediums, you pit lap number 26 to 32. So that's sort of the strategy that we're looking at, and then go on to the hards till the end of the race. Unless, of course, there's a safety car. You know, Pierre Gasly could come into Colapinto could come into the pits now, and then Pierre Gasly could crash, you know? We could have Crashgate 2.0. Yeah, we'll see what Flavio Briatore's got planned for us today. Yeah. Why is Max slow? It's because these soft tyres really aren't ideal in the Singapore heat. It is low track temperatures as of what we normally see in Singapore, but the thing is, Max has got an extra 100 kilograms worth of fuel in his car because, you know, we're at the start of the race. He's got to have all of the fuel to go right to the end. So the soft tyres have an extra 100 kilograms pushing down on them through every single corner, which, causes them to overheat a lot more than they will have seen yesterday when they only had, 10 kilograms worth of fuel in for a quali lap. So overheating tyres is the big problem there for Max. And the other thing is, from Max Verstappen's perspective, he doesn't care too much about winning against George Russell. His main thing is to keep Norris and Piastri behind. And also in that order, he wants Piastri to be further back and he wants Norris to be in 3rd place. So Verstappen can gain the most points for his championship. So that's what Verstappen ideally wants. Of course, it would be much better if he was in P1, Norris P2, Piastri P4. But as of right now, he hasn't got the pace to catch George Russell. He's just setting fastest lap after fastest lap. And wow. All right. yeah, 40,000 people tuned in. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you are all enjoying the coverage, and be sure to hit the like button as well. Once we get to 10,000 likes, we'll be doing a little face reveal. Yeah. Okay. So here we go then. Fastest lap count, please. I would do a fastest lap count, but I don't actually know how many fastest laps George Russell has set so far. If someone has counted how many fastest laps George Russell has set, I will count. I will put a counter up for George Russell fastest laps. So GR63 FL. So FL is fastest lap, and if anyone knows, is it 12? Okay, apparently George Russell has set about 8. Okay, so one of my mods has said 8, so I'm going to go with 8. But yeah, we can't have been 12. We're only on lap number 10, so I don't know who said 12 laps. George Russell set 12 fastest laps because we're only on lap number 10. So, all right, thanks, folks. Well, every time he does it again, I'll be updating that counter because he's going pretty well, isn't he? Okay. And let's have a look at the pit stop windows now. This is the big thing. So as you can see at the top of the screen there, the drivers lose around 22 seconds or so when they come into the pits. So that means that there is a bit of a gap. You can see forming there between Hamilton and Alonso. There's a bit of a gap forming, but the gap is 14 to 19 seconds. So Russell has got to gain about an extra 3 or 4 seconds on Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton before he can come into the pits. And then he could get a really early pit stop in if he wanted to. But and yeah, of course, then protect himself from an undercut as well. All right. Are you regretting doing the set 10k like target? No, not really. I mean, I was a little bit nervous. I've never really been nervous before starting a live stream before. But starting a live stream today, I was a little nervous, but I've got over it really, I think. Maybe it is 18 seconds. I did say 18 seconds earlier, but this number might be slightly incorrect. It might just be from last year. So we'll find out. What is an undercut and overcut? So essentially what happens is if you come into the pits before your rival, so let's have a look. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, they're about 3 seconds apart. If Oscar Piastri now comes into the pits on this lap, he'll come out on a fresh set of tyres. And those fresh tyres are going to be quicker than the tyres that Lando Norris is on. So let's say Piastri does 3 laps in a row on fresh tyres. He goes 2 seconds quicker on each lap compared to Lando Norris. Then by the time Norris comes into the pits, Piastri will actually be ahead of him because he's gained a bunch of lap time via the pit stop, via the fresh tyres. So that's what an undercut is, and the overcut is just the opposite. The overcut is, extending out your stint for ages, and then the driver that comes into pits before you, they'll have like 10 laps older tyres before you come into the pits, and they'll have 10 lap older tyres compared to you, and then you just breeze past them on the racetrack. So, Mal, thanks for the donation. F1 Gamer got his best outfit on. I mean, maybe we'll, I don't really know. I've got a hoodie on. I didn't really think too much about my outfit, to be honest. Yeah. Max moaning on the radio as usual. Well, it is typical. All of these racing drivers, they are expert complainers when something doesn't go their way. Piastri was complaining over the radio, "Oh, Norris just barged me off the track. We're not going to swap them or swap anything around." And maybe they will. Maybe Norris will just get a slow pit stop. But no, I think that it's sort of just because it's lap 1. I think they're basically just saying, "Oh no, it's okay. Don't worry about it too much." So. Can you show the standings if the race finishes like this way? I'll do that once all the pit stops have been completed. As of right now, it's still a little bit up in the air. There's not too much point of doing it, and also I haven't got that screen up yet, so I'll get the screen up once everyone's done their pit stops. 5.6 seconds and growing. Yeah, George Russell is. Max is purple there in the final sector, but Russell is just powering on every single time. The first sector just gets better and better, and he's just in this amazing rhythm. It's sort of, if you've watched the F1 movie and you sort of saw like right at the end, it was like, oh yeah, Sonny Hayes, he's flying and everything goes perfect and things like that. Now I think George Russell is sort of in that zone right now. Just from yesterday all the way on to today, it's just been impeccable. Not a single mistake has been made by George Russell so far. Hamilton looking to close up here on Antonelli. Antonelli was stuck behind Leclerc for quite a while trying to overtake him. got his tyres overheated, wore out his tyres quite a bit, and now Hamilton is coming to overtake him, and we'll see if that's possible. But yeah, Antonelli knows how to defend, and it's a reasonably easy circuit to defend at, and we'll see how it goes. Russell now purple in sector 1 and 2. Okay. How come Antonelli is not more ahead? Because Antonelli had a bad opening lap, really. That was about it. Yeah. Where's the lap count? Lap count is just here at the bottom of the screen. You can see here. That's where it is. Lap 13 of 62. Oh, there we go. Another fastest lap of the race there for George Russell. I guess I can increase that counter to now number 9. 9 fastest laps there for Georgie boy. We're on 8,000 likes here, folks. Not too far away from the 10,000 that we need to get a face reveal done. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks everyone for hitting the like button. And yeah, not too far away now. All right, what else is going on the racetrack? Hadjar trying to get close to Fernando Alonso, but he's struggling a little bit there. They're both on the soft tyres. At this point in time now, the soft tyres are getting worse. I think also Lando Norris now should be trying to get close to Max Verstappen, because after 15 laps or so, well, we're 13 laps into this race, but Verstappen's tyres are 15 laps old. Verstappen's tyres are wearing out pretty quickly, and Norris's tyres are still in reasonably good condition. So now is probably the opportunity that Norris has to overtake Max Verstappen, but does he want to take that risk? Because yesterday he did give Norris dirty air, or he gave, not Oscar, gave Max Verstappen dirty air, and yeah, we'll see how that works out. If Verstappen is extra aggressive against Lando Norris, or is Norris just like, I don't want to battle with Max Verstappen right now. Yeah, Russell is flying. Indeed, he is. I think he's doing sort of one push lap, one cool down lap, one push lap. But his cool down laps really aren't that slow either. So yeah, he's doing his best Sebastian Vettel 2015 impression around here. Yeah, he goes a tenth slower on his cool down lap compared to his push lap. So Russell is looking pretty good. Right, I need to have a sip of water here. My throat is really starting to hurt. Okay. Norris about to pass Max. I mean, I don't know. He's 1.3 seconds off the road. In fact, the only driver that is within DRS range right now is Isaac Hadjar, who's within 8/10 of Fernando Alonso. Yeah, we got a nice helmet cam here with one of the Ferrari drivers driving through turn number 3, and it's Red Bull pit stops. Who's that? Sonoda Bortoletto into the pits. Okay, looking good, looking good. Some more pit stops coming in then here, folks. All right. Yeah, some more pit stops now. First couple of drivers coming into the pits. All right, they've said something over the radio to Norris saying, oh, it's a slow pit stop there for Bortoletto, not ideal. What is going on there? 11.2 seconds. Did they have to change his front wing or something? I'm not sure. But either way, Bortoletto back out onto the circuit, and Sonoda is also down there in 90. No, I think it was just a slow stop. Or maybe no. Let's just watch the replay here for Gabriel Bortoletto. He's going in towards turn number 1, and just a little bit of contact there for Bortoletto. Will Russell lead all the laps? Maybe he will. Yeah, they did change Bortoletto's wing. There's no way that he was going to do that slow of a pit stop. 11 seconds is ridiculous. Yeah, so they changed his wing. But it was only a little bit of front end plate damage. And maybe that's what's going to happen to Norris. If Norris may have to change his front wing, he's also locking up a little bit on these tyres. It taps the wall ever so slightly as well on the previous lap. So Norris, mistakes starting to creep in, and maybe the team will replace the front wing, and that's going to cost him an extra 7 seconds in the pit lane. Okay, folks, what do you think? Is McLaren going to change the front wing of Lando Norris? Because from an aerodynamics point of view, you really don't lose too much from losing an end plate. You maybe lose 0.5 1/10 of a second. Of course, that adds up over the course of the race. Over the course of 62 laps, 1/10 of a second per lap is 6.2 seconds. But you lose 7 seconds in the pit lane, or 10 seconds in the pit lane for changing a tire. So does it make sense to switch your front wing? Does it not? Is that what's going to switch the two McLaren drivers around? Who knows? Who knows? Because we've seen it in the past. I think Leclerc at some point had front wing damage earlier on in the season with his end plate just broken, and they just carried on with it. They were like, "Oh, it's not a problem. We'll just continue," and it was fine. It wasn't really that much slower. So who knows? But of course, if Norris wants to overtake Max Verstappen for the championship, then he's probably going to need a front wing that works properly, and the only way he's going to get that is by changing it. Oh, they've just started showing Lando Norris's girlfriend. They were doing this yesterday as well during the whole of qualifying. Like I think Lawson got knocked out or something, and then they showed Liam Lawson's girlfriend. Like they need to stop. It was first Lando Norris's mum, and now it's all of the drivers' girlfriends. Like honestly. We're here to watch Formula One at the end of the day. Will George Russell get a Grand Slam? I mean, maybe. The thing is, for him to get a Grand Slam, he will have to do the overcut strategy, which is the worst strategy around here in Singapore. The much better strategy is to do the undercut. But, if Russell has enough pace, which he does by the looks of it, he can hang on there and he'll just continue on sort of cruising out at the front, come into the pits last, after Norris and Piastri and Leclerc all come into the pits, and he'll still retain the lead of the race. That's what he'll need to do to get a Grand Slam. So who knows? What's the gap between Russell and Max? It's 8 seconds now. 8 seconds. I have not seen Russell pull this big of a gap ever before. Russell's won quite a few races, but it's always been by reasonably close margins. Never this level of domination. So, maybe McLaren domination is over. This is what we were all sort of asking for, weren't we? We were all like, oh, we don't want McLaren winning 1-2 every single race. So we've got it. We've got George Russell fighting for the race win. Well, not even fighting. He's sort of cruising to the race win as of right now. And we've got Franco Colapinto, fresh set of medium tyres, goes purple in the final sector. Wait, why has Colapinto gone out on mediums? The mediums are not going to make it to the end of the race, I suspect. Pirelli said you could do max 30 laps on them. We've got 47 laps left to go. Does this mean we're getting a Crashgate 2.0? Is Pierre Gasly going to come is Pierre Gasly going to crash, bring out the safety car, and then Franco Colapinto is going to get a podium? Is this the strat? Because yeah, it doesn't make much sense to go out onto the mediums. Pirelli did suggest, where is the strategy? There it is. Pirelli say, start the race on the softs, then go onto the hards, or start the race on the softs, go onto the hards, then onto the mediums. I don't really know. Maybe he's doing a two-stop strategy, but it doesn't make that much sense. Yeah, we got 9,000 likes. There we go. We're getting pretty close to the 10,000 there, folks. Yeah. Alrighty then. We are on lap number 17 of 62 here in Singapore. Max is to pit soon. Yeah, I mean, the pit stop window is between lap number 20 and 26 for the soft tyres, so Max should be coming into the pit soon, but of course, he has had a lot of clean air. Russell's been 6-7 seconds up the road for him for the majority of the race at this point, so he's pretty much just been driving in clean air. And if he's been driving in clean air, he has a better opportunity to conserve his tyres. Also, Lando Norris is actually getting dangerously close to Verstappen's DRS now. 1.1 seconds is the gap there. And he gains about... he gains 0.3 in that middle sector. So, looking good for Lando Norris. Oh, did I say 6-7 again? I mean, I must have said 6-7 again. Oops. Yeah. Does Russell ever have a Grand Slam? I don't think Russell has ever got a Grand Slam, so this would be his first if he does get it. Oh, they've said stay out. It looks like they were going to put Lando Norris out on hard tyres. I don't know if they had a front wing or not, though. So, who knows? Who knows? Right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water. $44,000 people tuned into live stream, folks. I'm just going to double check, but if I look correctly, I think we are once again the biggest live stream on YouTube, folks. Let's go, big W. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in as well. McLaren faking the pit stops. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there, but I don't know who they were trying to trick. That's the thing. Were they trying to trick? I think they're trying to trick Max Verstappen. Of course, they think that. they don't want to. They want to undercut Max Verstappen. That's the strategy. They don't want to get Norris and Verstappen fighting on track, because if that happens, then fireworks are going off, and yeah, there's going to be some contact involved, and there may be some broken front wings and stuff like that. I have a feeling. So McLaren are basically like, oh, we don't want to do an on-track overtake. We're going to try and do an undercut. F1 Gamer slow mode, please. Oh yeah, I shall put on slow mode. I do apologize. Yeah, oops, actually, yeah, I should have put it on when the stream started. Exoteric, thanks for the donation there, buddy. All right, we are now 250 likes away. All right, lap number 18 of this race, and Norris is getting extremely close here to the DRS of Max Verstappen. Is he going to get it in the next couple of laps? These soft tyres are wearing now. Is Verstappen going to come into the pits? Verstappen does not come into the pit lane, neither does Lando Norris, but yeah, is he going to be able to close that gap? Okay. Just under 300 likes to go. Yeah, just under 200 likes to go now. Okay. Piastri, fastest lap of the race there. He is 4.6 seconds off Lando Norris. He's still got quite a ways to improve, to be honest, before he can close up. All right. So that's that. And apart from that, no one's within DRS range at the moment. Nobody is within the DRS range of anyone. So here we go then. Oh, we have hit 10,000 likes. Right, well, I guess here goes nothing. 3, 2, 1. Oh, God, it zoomed in. There we go. It's that was a funny way to start the face reel, but yeah, this is me. This is F1 Gamer. You've been listening to me commentate for the last 40 minutes or so, but also for the last 4 hours. 4 years. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and hope you enjoy the sort of coverage. Yeah. I'm gonna try and make this not too big so we don't cover up too many team radios, and maybe I'll do some more webcam streams, maybe I won't, but yeah, this is me. Hello guys. Yeah, it was I didn't know it was fully zoomed in, because I've got I can do this and it zooms in, which is, you know, sort of cool, but anyway, you know, we're here for the Formula 1 coverage. You know, you can see my face and all, which is nice. But, oh, Verstappen's into the pit lane, folks. Verstappen is into the pits. Okay, so here he is. Red Bull pit crew. Is it going to be a quick stop? It held a little bit too long, but I would say 3.0 seconds for Max. All right, well, let's see what the McLaren crew can do. I think Norris has just been told to push now. Let's keep an eye out on this, but Norris's radio will be time to push, because yeah, he's got to go ASAP. He was about a second behind, so Verstappen is now out on cold hard tires, which is not going to be ideal. Track temperatures at 34 degrees, so it's going to take at least one lap or so to oh my god, it's doing this again. Okay, it's going to take at least one lap or so for those tires to properly warm up. We'll keep an eye on his sector times, but Norris's sector times are 28.7 for Norris, which is not all that quick. Yeah, they say to Max, outlap critical, let's get on with it. So you've basically told Max it's time to push. He comes out just ahead of Fernando Alonso. So that was a nice pit stop there from the Red Bull crew. And you can see Max has got a huge amount of clean air ahead of him. So it's maximum attack from the Flying Dutchman. And we'll compare their sector times now. All right. I had $5 and you having blonde hair. Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. I'm originally from India, and I'm sure some people have even noticed that in the chat. So I was born in Mumbai, but I came to the UK when I was pretty young, so that's why my accent's pretty English. And oh, it's done it again. My accent's pretty English. Max is purple in the middle sector. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, here we go then. Is Lando Norris going to come into the pits? And no, he doesn't actually. So looking at the first sector, Max goes 0.6 of a second quicker in the first sector. That is incredible. On cold tyres as well. Cold tyres. And purple in the final sector. So it looks like George Russell's going to have his fastest laps given a run for his money, because yeah, Max is pushing like crazy here. The gap, if you remember, before Max came into the pits was 8 seconds, 8 whole seconds. So he's got to gain that much lap time if he wants to close up to Russell. But we'll see how that goes. Oh, it's doing it again. Honestly, I need to turn this off. I'll figure out how to turn it off later on. Okay. Hadjar, 2.4 seconds pit stop there, nice and quick for the Racing Bulls. And yeah, he did 22 laps on his soft tyres. Yeah. All right then. Kevin, thanks for the donation. Very much is appreciated. Okay, so we have got Albon within DRS range of Pierre Gasly, and oh, here we go. Jedi Fire, $10 donation. Never thought I'd be rooting so hard for Max, but here we are, 33 for the World Championship. Yeah, we'll see what Max can do. Oh, we're getting quite a feisty battle here between, who is this? The Racing Bull of Isaac Hadjar and Franco Colapinto, actually. Yeah. All right. So, here we go. All right, folks, I will make myself ever so slightly smaller so you guys can read more of the chats. But I think I'm going to keep the webcam on because a lot of people have been asking for the face reveal for a while. So I'll keep it on for this stream. I'll decide what to do about it later. But Charles Leclerc into the pits now, so we'll see if he undercuts Lewis Hamilton as well. Nice quick pit stop for Charles, 2.3 seconds. Yeah. So that looks good from him. Alonso and Stroll, the only two drivers that are left out on the soft tyres. So, yeah, only two drivers left out on the softs. They'll be coming into the pits soon enough, I think. And yeah, okie dokes. Yeah, I'm gonna have a. Oh, I guess I don't need to tell you that I'm having a sip of water. Multi Ninja. Well deserved, bro, for the 5 years, 200k. Did my email work? Yeah, I did get your email. I was about to reply to it. In fact, I'd saved a draft, but I didn't press send. So no, I did get your email. And also, if all of the mods could send me an email, or send me a DM on it on Instagram at F1_gamer_5. I'd like to hook you guys up with some merch for just helping out the channel so much. So yeah, would very much be appreciated, folks. All right. Yeah. So we've got Albon on the back of Gasly here. And, Williams have done a little bit of damage limitation. Well, they haven't done any damage limitation because they haven't scored any points yet. But they are progressing ever so slightly up through the field. It's not really going to be enough, though, for them to gain a bunch of points. So yeah, just quickly, I'll flash up the Constructors' Championship, and what you can see is that Williams, actually, it doesn't matter. Williams are about 30 points ahead of Racing Bulls and about 40 points ahead of Aston Martin. So once all the pit stops comes through, Hadjar will be in the points, and so will Fernando Alonso, which is a bit of a problem for the Williams team because they want to keep their fifth position, an extra 10 million euros in prize money, I think. So yeah, we'll see how it works out for the Williams team. Also, we've got Max Verstappen, fastest lap of the race. This guy is, he's on these hard tyres, and he goes a little bit quicker than George's best lap, about a tenth or so quicker than George's best lap. And now he's going to try and undercut George Russell. It's going to be a long shot, really, because on the previous lap, on the previous lap, Max Verstappen goes 1 full second faster than George Russell. So an entire second faster. If he can keep that up for 2 or 3 more laps, then he's going to be coming out of the pits, and George Russell is going to be just a few seconds ahead of him, or even, within DRS range. Depends when Russell comes into the pits, though. That's the big one. Or is Russell going to try the overcut? That might work as well. But yeah, we'll see. All right. Let Max cook. Indeed, Max, well, he's purple in the first sector, he's yellow in the middle sector, but he's only, 30 milliseconds slower than his previous personal best, so it looks like it's slow, but it's still absolutely incredibly quick. He is, of course, on fresh tyres, though, so that obviously helps out a lot. Okay. Oh, George Russell says, my pace is dropping, the tyres are getting worse. So after 24 laps on the medium tyres, George Russell's tyres have dropped off a cliff and he needs to come into the pits. So if we quickly just look at the Pirelli information there, 26 laps that they expected the medium tyres to work for. George Russell only did 24. So this was the thing that we were talking about. The Mercedes, not so great on his tyres. So it was only 2 laps earlier than Pirelli's worst case scenario, but still, that means Russell's going to be struggling in the final stint to get those hard tyres to work. See, Paul, thanks for the congrats on the 200k. Great to see you. Thank you very much, man. Very much is appreciated. Thanks for all the donations as well, folks. I think I can also donate some more channel memberships. Let's see. There we go. 5 more channel memberships. Can I put Max's fastest laps? Yeah, I will actually. I will put Max's fastest laps. So, I was going to put MV33, but it's actually MV1, isn't it now? MV33 fastest laps, and I think he's set 2 so far. Yeah, 2. Okay, currently Leclerc is 5 seconds behind your pit window. Okay, so this is the thing. Piastri's under threat of getting overtaken by Charles Leclerc, and yeah. So also it is not 22 seconds; it is 18 seconds. Just to confirm, I was looking at the other numbers while the pit stops were going on. The drivers lose 18 seconds in the pits, not 22. Yeah. Oh, I could actually move the camera to this bit, can't I? I could move it here, because the speed traps around Singapore really aren't all that important, are they? So I think this is fine for now. We'll figure out a better place to do it later, or if I'm even going to do a webcam. But we'll have a face reveal for today. And Hamilton comes into the pits there. Okay, nice job from Hamilton. Will Leclerc undercut Hamilton? That's a question now. Leclerc coming down the start-finish straight. He does, and nicely done there from Charles Leclerc. He's a few seconds up from his rival. Okay. F1 Gamer do a poll. I think I'll do a poll after the stream. But we've got 50,000 people watching, which is mind-blowing. Yeah. Thank you everyone for hitting the like button, for subscribing. Very much is appreciated. All right. So we've got Bortoleto up into 19th position there as Gasly comes into the pits. 24 laps on his medium tyres. This is the pit stop window now for the medium tyre runners. They'll be coming into the pits very, very soon because, yeah, they need to get those tyres changed pretty quick. And it was a slow pit stop there for Lewis Hamilton. The front right tyre, the mechanic didn't get it on properly. Like he misjudged where the actual hole was to put the tyre on. Russell's into the pits, folks. Russell is into the pits. So here we go into the pits, and very nice, smooth pit stop. But he does lose the lead of the race, folks. So unfortunately, no Grand Slam for George Russell. He's dropped back into 3rd position, and no Grand Slam, unfortunately. Yeah. Thanks for the donation, Piorot. I don't know how to say a second name, so I'm not really going to try, but for letting me know how the race goes for free. Very much is appreciated, folks. I mean, 49,000 nearly of you are here to enjoy the coverage, so yeah, really is appreciated, folks. Yeah, no Grand Slam, unfortunately, for him. But Norris now in the lead of this race, and they're looking at the different strats now of what they can do for Lando Norris. 4.6 seconds is the gap between him and Piastri. If Piastri does pull off an undercut, then if Piastri comes into the pits early and Norris has to change his front wing, then Norris is getting dropped back significantly. Like, it's going to be a really big difference from if he doesn't get his tyres, if he doesn't get his front wing changed, to if he does get his front wing changed. Max has gone purple again, so that's number 3 now. Also, I should probably adjust this so it's not over the racetrack. Let me just put that there. All right, and 3 fastest laps now for the Flying Dutchman. Okie dokes. Okay, what else is going on then? Russell purple in the middle sector, and look at that gap. So Max Verstappen, when he did his undercut, so he pitted 6 laps before George Russell did, and he gained about 5 seconds worth of lap time. 5 seconds is quite the healthy chunk, but yeah, I don't know if he's now going to be able to close that gap up, because Russell, well, he's got the most fastest laps, and he's probably the quickest around this circuit as of right now. So yeah, it's going to be tough really for Max to actually now close up to George Russell, because he's also got he's got old tyres, Russell's got fresh tyres. Norris into the pits, he doesn't get his front wing changed by the looks of it. A reasonably quick pit stop. I wasn't actually paying attention. My footage is here on this side, and I'm looking at the data on this side, so apologies there. But yeah, Norris is a couple of seconds back from Max, about 5 seconds or so. And that is purely due to the fact that Max did the undercut, had a really good couple of outlaps, and built that gap up to 5 seconds. F1 Gamer, is Piastri cooked? Oh, I've just moved my chair down. Is Piastri cooked? I don't know. I mean, maybe he's going to wait out there and there's going to be a safety car, you know? Who knows what will happen. Stroll still hanging out. Alonso as well, on 29 lap old soft tyres, is doing a fantastic job. Yeah, we'll see how it goes for Fernando Alonso, and maybe he's going to go to the mediums till the end of the race, because if he goes onto the mediums now, he should be able to manage them right till the end. If he's managed the softs up until this point, the mediums should be a-okay. All right. Oh. Yeah, okay. That feature is definitely getting turned off. There we go, one of the McLarens into the pits. That is Oscar Piastri, dives into the pit lane, slows down to the 80km speed limit, and into the pits he goes. Right. Is it going to be a quick pit stop for Oscar Piastri? Front tyres off and front tyres back on. Ooh, they hold him for a little while. That's not great, really. 5.2 seconds. McLaren have really screwed that one up. I don't know what's wrong with McLaren's pit stop things, but they're consistently making mistakes. Slow pit stop again for Oscar Piastri. Antonelli is going purple, actually. Looks like the Mercedes are just really good. Fastest lap of the race there for Antonelli. I mean, I'm not going to put Antonelli up there on the screen just because it's going to get too crowded, but, you know, he's got one fastest lap. If he sets another one, we'll do it. I'll add him on. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Alonso's taken ages for his pit stop, I think. 9.2 seconds for Fernando Alonso's pit stop. What is going on? He had such a great first stint on these soft tyres and then gets dropped back quite a few places. So unfortunate there for Fernando. He was aiming to, you can see here on the map, Alonso is now behind Hadjar, Albon and Behrman. He was planning to come out ahead of Behrman. If the pit stop was quick enough, he would have come out just ahead of Ollie Behrman by the finest of margins, but yeah, clearly it wasn't. And unfortunately, Fernando Alonso loses 3 places through no fault of his own. Oh, all right, 50,000 people tune into live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. And yeah, we've got 200,000 subscribers, well, and 202,000 subscribers. Very much is incredible. I was thinking about this before, and you know, we're pretty much the size of a small city. So we could have the F1 Gamer City. That'd be pretty nice. All right. Antonelli now really chasing down Charles Leclerc. He's within a few, he's within DRS, which is the big thing, and now he's just pushing him through turns number 18 and 19. It's a bit tough to stay close there through those 2 corners, but Antonelli is doing his best, and he's got DRS down into turn number 1. He's still a little bit too far off the back, but yeah, I'm going to have some more water. Where's my water gone? There we go. All right. Let's see. Is a yellow sector good? No, yellow is slower than your personal best, and then green is quicker than your personal best. So you can see Norris improving here, and then purple is fastest out of everyone. So those are sort of the information that those are what the colours mean. Yeah. All right. What else is going on? Sainz trying to get on the back of Esteban Ocon. Antonelli is still stuck behind Charles Leclerc, to be honest. And things aren't going too well for Antonelli. He was stuck behind Charles Leclerc at the start of the race. He just got overtaken by Leclerc and then was stuck behind him. And then his tyres wore out, so then he dropped back and Lewis Hamilton caught up to try and attack him. So Antonelli is very much in a Ferrari sandwich. Yeah. Oh no, Alonso. Oh, you love to see it though. Alonso, he's just been told 34 to go, and Alonso's just come over the radio and said, if you speak to me every single lap, I'm going to disconnect the radio. This is, I mean, incredible from Fernando Alonso. He just doesn't care, and clearly he is very frustrated. You know, his luck in Monza, he got a suspension failure for driving over a curb in Monza. He's got terrible safety car timing for quite a lot of the races in this season. I think in Zandvoort got terrible safety car timing, and now he's got a slow pit stop and he gets dropped back 3 positions for no reason whatsoever. But, you know, just another one to add to Alonso's list of incredible team radios. He literally just said, I will disconnect the radio, which is incredible from Alonso. Yeah. All right. What else? Yeah. Also, who's your driver of the day, folks? Who is your driver of the day? I honestly have to give it to George Russell. You know, he started from pole, this many fastest laps, 9 fastest laps to his name, and still in the net lead. Under pressure from Max a little bit, but he's holding him off at a very comfortable distance. You know, it's from about 4 or 5 seconds away. So, I don't know. Who is your driver of the day? Do you think Lando can catch Max and make P2? Well, you see, the thing is, Lando does have fresher tyres, but the problem is the gap is 4.3 seconds. So if he has to close a 4.3 second gap, what's going to happen is he's going to lose that tyre advantage by pushing too hard, and he's also going to wear out his battery. Not wear out his battery, he's going to run out of battery by the time he catches up. So if the gap was, let's say, 2 seconds, what he could have done is he would close up to the back of Max, and then he will still have some tyre life and some battery left to actually make the overtake. But with 4 seconds being the gap, it's just like the gap's too big. So he's going to have, well, we've got 32 laps of this race left to go. We're at the halfway point. So he's going to go 32 more laps, probably 10 laps or so, try to reduce the gap down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and then at that point he can go maximum attack to try and get the overtake. But who knows? Okay. Yeah, Antonelli is still right there on Charles Leclerc, but Leclerc holding him off and doing everything correctly. You know, taking the best possible exits through most of these corners, and yeah, looks like Esteban Ocon's just been told to come into the pits. There we go. And Stroll is the only driver on the soft tyres, still managing those softs, and doing quite well, actually. We've reached the halfway point of the race, so we can definitely go on to mediums towards the end. You know, that's what Alonso's done. That's what Colapinto's done. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, I've got some messages from my friends actually about my face reveal. Let's see what they've got to say. Yeah. Okay. All right then. We've got Ocon out of the pits, out in dead last. Very, very unfortunate there for Esteban Ocon, while his teammate is up there in 11th position. And surely after Lawson, Stroll, Sainz all come into the pits, he's getting put up into 8th position as well. So good job there by Ollie Behrman. Considering it's his first time racing around the streets of Singapore, Antonelli is practically pushing Charles Leclerc through most of this circuit at this moment in time. Like, look at this gap. It's tiny, but yeah. The moment that he gets close through the next corner, he drops back again because of the dirty air. And, yeah. All right. Why doesn't Max use DRS when he can? Max isn't within 1 second to use DRS. So yeah, you've got to be within 1 second. So when this thing goes fully green like this or like this, that's when you're within the 1 second to use DRS. And Max, of course, is not within that 1 second. All right. How does the Constructors' Championship work? You just add the 2 points of both your drivers together, and that is the Constructors' Championship, pretty much. It's just for the team. Can Max win this? Well, he's maintaining the gap to George Russell at 3.4 seconds. It's not going down, it's not going up. So with 31 laps left to go, if he can hold on to his tyres better than George Russell can, which I think he can, because, you know, as I said earlier, the Mercedes wears out its tyres pretty quickly. George Russell weared out his tyres after 24 laps of racing, and Pirelli said the quickest that you would normally see your medium tyres wear out is 26 laps. So it's a very small difference, but then, of course, the hard tyre stint is a little bit longer, and so maybe Max will be able to close up, but then on the flip side, Max has also got 6-lap older tyres, which means that whatever tyre advantage that he will have because of his tyres don't wear out as quick as Russell's is all gone because he's got older tyres. So it's tough to say, but yeah. This race sucks for Piastri. Yeah, I mean, he sort of got barged out of the way on the opening lap, and then Norris didn't get his front wing changed, because if he did, then of course they would have swapped around. Then Piastri also gets a slow pit stop. So just a sequence of unfortunate events, really, a sequence of unfortunate events for Piastri. But of course, you know, Lando Norris had his sequence of unfortunate events. He DNF'd in Zandvoort due to mechanical problems, and so, you know, there's always a sort of an aspect of luck, an aspect of things that you can't control when you do a world championship. When you're fighting for a world champ. All right. Sainz is here right on the back of Stroll, actually, within 6/10 or so. So we should be getting a battle here between Carlos Sainz, 55, smooth operator, looking to overtake Lance Stroll. We'll see what he can do. But the Aston Martin bouncing away, and of course Carlos Sainz with the DRS flap open, this time at 8.5 centimeters rather than the 8.6 centimeters that he had for qualifying, which got him disqualified. So he's got to be careful not to do that. Yeah. Max is slowly gaining. Indeed he is, folks. Look at that gap. It's now down to 2.9. But, of course, Russell knows this, and Russell will have a little bit of pace left in the bank. He will have charged his battery up just for this perfect scenario. If Max Verstappen gets within 1.5, Russell's going to deploy all of his battery. So we'll see how it goes. How has Stroll done 32 laps on soft? I don't know, actually. Stroll's just managed his tyres really well. Of course, his pace is not that quick. You know, you look at his lap time, a 1:39.0, and we've got Max Verstappen doing 1:35s. So he's nearly 3.5 seconds off the pace on these super old tyres. So he should be coming into the pits pretty soon, ideally. But, I don't know. Yeah. All right. What else is going on? We've got a replay here of Pierre Gasly going through one of these corners. Looks like he gets awfully close to the barriers. Yeah, we've seen quite a few drivers do this. Russell actually did this on his flying lap, actually, but still, of course, got pole position. So, F1 Gamer, what does the battery mean? The battery is essentially, you know, you've got a certain amount of battery charge that you can deploy. You've got electric motors in the car that give you an extra certain, I think, about 120 horsepower, depending on how much power you say that they can use. So, you know, if your motors are using a bunch of horsepower, yeah, if you want to use, if you want more power, then you just use up your battery. It's pretty much the same as your phone. You know, it's got a certain percentage and stuff like that. Stroll's currently the slowest on the track. Yeah, Norris has just been told over the radio, have a drink. Well, it looks like I'm also going to have a drink. I think you guys should have a drink as well. Remember to stay hydrated, folks. You can lose about 4 seconds or so. Yeah, you lose about 4 seconds or so worth of, not 4 seconds, 4 kilograms or so of body weight via sweating at the Singapore GP. So, yeah. Also, I just wanted to ask, is my voice in sync with the audio that's coming through, or is my mouth in sync with the audio that's coming through, or is there a slight delay? I don't know if anyone's even been paying attention, but do let me know, because I think I can fix that, but I'll look into it later, but I just need to know if it's a problem or not. Yeah. Okay, most of the people saying it's in... Is that yes for it's in sync? Okay, most people are saying it's in sync. Okay, all right. Sounds good, sounds good. Thank you very much, folks. I thought it would be out of sync for some reason, but there we go. It's in sync. All right, so what else have we got going on? Max closing that down to 2.8, down to 2.8. Okay, so 28 laps remain. So, you know, if Max closes up a tenth per second, he'll get within George Russell at the final lap of the race, but who knows? Okay. Further back, Sainz is still on the back of Stroll. I mean, I don't know how Stroll is still... I mean, I think what Sainz, Stroll and Lawson are doing, they must be waiting for a safety car. But who's going to give them a safety car? Is there even any battling going on? Tsunoda and Colapinto are trying to overtake each other. We've got Gasly and Bortoletto trying to overtake each other. So, you know, maybe they could cause some contact, maybe a safety car or something. Yeah. Thomas Lord, thank you for the donation. Thomas Lord, actually, you are, I think, one of the first people that have donated to the stream. So can everyone give a big shout out to Thomas Lord? I think back in 2021 was one of my first donations. So can we get some ASMR? I don't know if it actually come through, but yeah, I don't think it did. Anyway, the strategy for Max Verstappen: start the race on the softs, go to the hards. I don't think anyone else will be doing more than one pit stop, apart from maybe Colapinto. Colapinto there is on 20 lap old medium tyres. He's got another 27 laps left to go, which is a little bit unfeasible. So we'll see how it goes for him. But, you know, Colapinto can try, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yuki's F1 career is done. Yeah, this is the bit of a problem for Yuki Tsunoda, because the main reason why he was in sort of the Red Bull Driver Academy, the Racing Bull Driver Academy, was because he's a Japanese driver and he's sponsored by Honda. And Honda were, of course, the engine manufacturer for Red Bull, for Racing Bulls. And
yeah, now they're no longer the engine manufacturer. So Yuki Tsunoda, is his contract going to expire at the end of the year? Is he going to have to find a different team? Is he going to open a restaurant? Who knows what's going to happen for Tsunoda? All right. This is a very boring race. Not many overtakes since the opening lap. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've definitely had more than one overtake, I can say that. It's not been like Monaco, but yeah, I would say it's not been the most exhilarating race at the front. And Max, look at that gap. It's dropped off the back. Max must have made a mistake or something. Yeah, on that previous lap, Russell did a 1:36, and now it's a 1:37.7. So Max was 1.8 seconds slower on the final lap. And he made a mistake in sector number 3, and that's what cost him. So huge lockup there for Max. And... yeah, and he's complaining over the radio, saying it's terrible to drive. Imagine Max and Russell start fighting for P1 and they crash. Well, that's aged pretty badly, because Max has lost 1.8 seconds via one lockup, then also flat spotted his tyres, which means that there's also going to be a much higher probability that he flat spots them again. And yeah, if he flat spots them again, then it just gets into a continuous cycle of locking up, and yeah, your tyres get destroyed. So who knows what will happen. Nihar, thank you for the donation. Hey man, love your work, watching since 2022, love it. Well, thank you very, very much. Yeah, thanks everyone for the donations. We've got quite a big sum of donations today, and here we go, another one. Mythic, thanks for the $10 donation. Love your streams, thank you so much for the commentary. Well, thank you very, very much indeed, and thanks everyone that's tuned in since 2021, all the way till now. Everyone that's hit the like button today, everyone that's subscribed, does mean a lot. And oh, there we go. We've got Fernando Alonso just scraping past Isaac Hadjar. What a move. Huge snap of oversteer from Fernando Alonso as he sneaks past Isaac Hadjar. Hadjar, though, does have DRS in towards turn number 6 they go. Here they go. Hadjar is right on the tail. He looks to the inside. He doesn't send a dive bomb in, actually. There's no sort of chance that he's getting past Fernando Alonso. Also, folks, if it stays this way in 3rd and 4th position, McLaren will become world champions. They will win the Constructors' Championship. And Alonso's now just come over the radio saying a trophy for hero of the race. So Alonso's clearly very happy with himself for pulling off that overtake, and he's ahead of Isaac Hadjar. Now, next up on his overtaking list is Alexander Albon. Okay, folks, if you do want to watch, Formula One without paying for the coverage, what you need to do is get Surfshark VPN. I think it's just going to cover me up, but yeah, you get Surfshark VPN. You click on the Swiss VPN server. You have to pay $2 a month for Surfshark VPN. There's a link in the description. It helps the channel out significantly if you do use the link. And then you join a Swiss VPN server, go onto Google, search SRF Formula One, and then you can watch Formula One. That's exactly how I'm watching it here on my second laptop that you can't see. But yeah. Okay. What happened to Max? Big mistake. And now Lando Norris is closing up to the back of him. Okay, so just to sort of explain what happens here with a flat spot. Normally your tire is perfectly round, but when you lock up, a piece of your tire becomes flat. You get a flat section on your tire, and when the tires are spinning around in a braking zone, they put a maximum load. You got about 4 or 5 G's worth of braking force when you go into brake at turn number 1, go into brake at turn number 14. So when your tire is perfectly smooth, for the whole duration of the tire spinning, you can get maximum braking force. But if you've got a tiny little flat section on your tire, then what that causes is that for when you're driving over the flat bit, you can only go for like 3 G's worth of braking force or 2 G's worth of braking force. So now Max Verstappen is going to have to be extra careful. Max Verstappen is going to have to be extra careful over every single braking zone, making sure not to lock up, and that's going to reduce his pace down significantly. If it's a minor lockup, it doesn't have too big of an effect, but Max lost 1.8 seconds because of that lockup. He slid for about 70-80 meters, and yeah, that's put a very big dent in his hard tyres. And now Lando Norris is closing up. Thanks, Werner, for the donation. Very much is appreciated there, buddy. Yeah. All right, got 47,000 people tuning into the live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you are all enjoying the coverage. And yeah, look forward to commentating to you for the next race in 2 weeks' time in COTA. Yeah, in COTA. That's where we're racing next. Who's my favourite driver? My favourite driver is Sebastian Vettel, actually. Sebastian Vettel, but unfortunately he's no longer racing in Formula One. Okay. Can Max get a win? Not with these flat-spotted tyres, he can't, no. And here comes Lando Norris then. Lando Norris is going to be chasing down Max Verstappen. 1.4 seconds is the gap, and it's about to get very, very feisty on the circuit because, well, they have their history from yesterday when Norris gave Max Verstappen dirty air on his pole position lap. Verstappen was not happy about that and was like, noted, I'm going to remember that. And we'll see how it goes. And Verstappen's over the radio saying the rear is like a handbrake, please help. And now they're saying shift the brake balance, change the torque settings on your engine braking. So Max is really struggling now because he's had to adjust his brake balance. His front tyres are no longer giving the brake performance he's got. The rears are super powerful. And because the rears are super powerful, it's like a handbrake, you got sort of a drifting effect going on, which is not what you really want, because that just creates overheating. And so Max is now having to deal with this flat spot. One mistake has cost him over 5 seconds, well, not 5 seconds, probably about 4 seconds worth of 2 seconds worth of lap time. But now he's coming under pressure from Norris, which is the big one. Train behind Lawson. Has Lawson got a big train going on behind him? Well, it's not the biggest train. Lawson's in a bit of a no man's land, isn't he? He's in Sainz is there in just coming through to the start-finish line, and then Lawson's there in clean air, and he's got about 30 seconds to go till Lewis Hamilton. That is huge. It really does show you the difference between the top teams and the midfield teams, especially at a technical circuit like Singapore. Okay. Yeah. What else is going on? We have got Behrman trying to get ahead of Carlos Sainz. Sainz is still somehow going 40 laps on these medium tyres. Incredible. Sainz, Albon, and Lawson, I think they're all 40 laps old now. Their medium tyres. Once they come into the pits, everyone thinks going to get dropped back. But yeah. Is a safety car good for Max? No. It's definitely bad news for Max. Well, actually, you could come into the pits. If he comes into the pits, then it's good news. If he doesn't come into the pits, it's very, very bad news. Anita, thanks for the donation. Love from India. By the way, you look amazing. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Yeah, I guess I've just got very good lighting. It's probably that. Okay. So we have got Ollie Behrman, that is half a second back from Sainz. And yeah, if the safety car gets called now, Russell will be good because he's got, he's in the lead of this race. He'll probably come into the pits, get a fresh set of tyres. Max, he will, even if he stays out and gets ahead of George Russell because Russell comes into the pits, still he's not going to be able to defend against Russell on a fresh set of softs. And yeah, but Max does need to change his tyres, ideally to get off these flat spotted ones. Why is Ferrari slow? I don't really know. I think the Ferrari meme is as relevant as always. Wait, let me get where's it gone? There we go. We're in the it's so over phase. They're in 5th position and 7th position. They've just been sandwiching Kimi Antonelli all race. And yeah, Antonelli is just 1.6 seconds behind Leclerc, and I'm not getting nowhere. Getting absolutely nowhere, yeah. All right. Bit of Juan Pablo Montoya looking. Maybe, yeah. I sort of see it, yeah, Juan Pablo Montoya. Pretty cool. All right. Ferrari's focused on 2026. Well, all of the teams are focused on 2026. Williams haven't brought an upgrade package in what's it now, 12 races or something? Yeah, Williams haven't brought an upgrade package in 12 races. We've had Red Bull haven't brought one in 8, so all of them are focusing on 2026 at this point. Yeah. Russell now starting to get through some traffic. So Stroll's the first driver to be lapped. Am I surprised? Not really. But we got blue flags for Stroll, and Russell is the first driver. Well, obviously Russell's the first driver to overtake him because he's in the lead of the race. We've got another replay here. Norris again clipping the barriers ever so slightly. The mistakes are just creeping in ever so. Yeah, they are. They're you get pretty exhausted here. The drivers have been going for now an hour and 10 minutes or so of the streets of Singapore. The humidity is at 71%. Air temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. And they've only got 1 liter of water in their water bottle. So they really haven't even got that much water as well. You start to get dehydrated, you start to get your mind fogging up a little bit. And yeah, mistakes start to creep in. So we'll see how that works with Lando Norris, and if any more mistakes, any major mistakes come in, because yeah, it must be the water. That's what it is. The water is causing all the mistakes. Must be the water. All right. Mythic, thanks for joining the channel membership. Very much is appreciated there, buddy. Alonso, another overtake. Very nice overtake on Alex Albon. Alonso does not care that he got screwed over in the pit stop. He's like, I'm going to disconnect the radio and I'm going to push like crazy. And he's done exactly that. He's overtook Isaac Hadjar. He's overtook Alexander Albon. He's the only one providing a bit of entertainment around here. To be fair, we've got a big old battle. Colapinto, Hülkenberg, Bortoleto, Gasly, Ocon, they're all millimeters apart. Oh, Colapinto sends one down the inside. Oh no, that's Gasly sends one down the inside. They bang wheels and Bortoleto just stays out ahead. This was so close between one of them getting into the barriers. Does Gasly send one down the inside? He doesn't, but Ocon gets a brilliant exit. Brilliant exit. DRS open. Can he slipstream past? Max is over the radio complaining again, saying it's absolutely undrivable, and he's saying that the car's terrible, but somehow he's closed the gap to George Russell and extended the gap away from Lando Norris. So I don't really believe Max at this moment in time, and that was a very big lock-up there from Alex Albon when Alonso went to overtake him. And what can you do? Alonso just knows all the tricks. He pushed Alexander Albon off the racing line where there was no rubber deposited. There were a bunch of little pieces of tyre debris all over the track, and what did that do? Alexander Albon locked up immediately. So fantastic racing there from Alonso, and yeah, because of that huge lockup, Albon also had 42-lap-old medium tyres as well. So once that was done, yeah, he comes into the pits and he comes out in dead last, unfortunately, for Alex Albon. Did he start in dead last? He started, I think, maybe 19th or 20th, but either way, not great for Albon. And any sort of damage limitation that they hope to do probably isn't happening. Will Lando get a penalty? No, Lando will not get a penalty. I don't know what you're talking about, so no, he's definitely not getting a penalty. All right, yeah. We have got Piastri getting a little bit of DRS from traffic. All of the drivers now approaching traffic here. So, maybe this is the chance for Verstappen to close up as Russell's stuck in a big old bunch of traffic, actually. He's got Colapinto, Hülkenberg, Bortoleto, Gasly, Ocon. They're all right next to each other and a bunch of traffic. So, all right. They're coming over the radio to Piastri saying, "Oh, we think we should use a soft tire if the safety car comes out now." And Piastri's like, "I don't really care. Just do what you think's best," which is all right in one aspect, but the other thing is that Piastri should really be thinking about what's going on in all of the other things. He's obviously a little annoyed that he's down there in 4th place, but yeah, he should be thinking about the entire race strategy, what could happen, what couldn't happen, how far everyone else is. Oh, was that a little lock-up there from Norris again? Yeah, these are things, they start creeping in, and they're now, 20 or so lap old hard tyres, so they're really starting to feel the pain. All right. George is getting slowed down by traffic. Yeah, he is. But of course, Max will get slowed down by the exact same traffic as well. They're all battling away, which is good to see. Hülkenberg trying to get ahead of Colapinto, and we have also got Gasly trying to get ahead of Bortoleto. One Alpine attacking, one Alpine defending. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Who's that? Yellow flag, number 27, Nico Hülkenberg, spun around, but he keeps it out of the barriers, and most importantly, no safety car. Yellow flag was deployed. It's been undeployed now, and Hülkenberg continues on without any sort of problems. Also, Hamilton purple in the final sector. How has he done that? He didn't even have a toe, nothing. He just pushed really hard, and now it's 2.4 seconds is the gap between himself and Antonelli. V, thanks for the channel membership. Very much is appreciated. Yeah, locked the rears, did he? Yeah. Nico Hülkenberg locked the rear tyres. Not ideal, but yeah, just lost grip, I think. Yeah. Don't know what it was. Very, very strange, but sometimes it just happens, these mistakes happen. Maybe, oh yeah, that's the thing. He probably didn't shift his brake balance forward, because for turns number 1, 2, and 3, so I'll just quickly show you on the onboard. Wait, where's the onboard? Oh, it's here, yeah. So going through turns number 1, 2, and 3, what you want to be doing is you don't want a lot of front brake bias, because at this point here, you are turning and braking at the same time, or you're at least doing a little bit of turning. So the problem is the drivers shift the brake balance back for this corner, and then if you don't shift it forward again for turn number 7, then you will lock the rears up. So I think that might be what happened to Nico Hulkenberg. Yeah. All right. Norris 1.2 seconds off the back of Verstappen. This traffic is really helping him out, actually. Verstappen is stuck behind Ocon, Gasly, Bortoleto, big old queue there. And Norris, 1.1 seconds is the gap. Here we go, folks. 1.1 seconds. It's just dipped under 1.1 now as well. Looking good, looking good. Where is my... Yeah. All right. There we go. Max Verstappen is now within Lando Norris's sights. Norris has got the DRS. And we'll see how it goes now. How feisty is Max Verstappen about to be? Folks, I need a scale of 1 to 10. How feisty is Max Verstappen going to be after Lando Norris gave him dirty air on his pole position lap at the end of Q3? Because I have a feeling that aggressiveness slider on Max Verstappen is going to be around about a 9 or a 10 or maybe even 11. Yeah, because he was pretty annoyed. He was like, "Oh, I'll remember that, and I've noted it and everything." So yeah, we'll see how this one works out, because Norris is right on his tail, like he is, well, pushing him through the next couple of corners. Verstappen does have a little bit of saving grace here. If he can get within a second of Esteban Ocon, who is the traffic ahead of him, he will get DRS. On this occasion, he hasn't done it, but the next few corners, if he can get within that 1 second gap, then he'll have DRS from the traffic ahead, which means that he'll be able to defend against Lando Norris. Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. Okay. Yeah, SRF just ran ads. Like, I can't see what's going on. So, looks like I'm commentating off the data again. 0.4 is the gap as they head towards turn number 7. I think Ocon gets out of the way. Ocon's done the right thing here. He's got out of the way for both of them at the same time. And Norris is practically pushing Max Verstappen through. Verstappen is complaining about the balance of the car. After that lockup, he's had to really change a lot of the engine braking settings, a lot of the brake balance settings. And... now, well, he's having to pay the price because Norris is right on his tail. But I think Verstappen is safe for the next few laps because he's got some drivers ahead of him that he can get a tow from. Hamilton comes into the pit, set of soft tyres to go to the end of the race. Looks like the hards weren't working for him well. So he's come into the pits, and also it doesn't really matter because he had like a huge gap to Liam Lawson, like just enormous. It was 32 seconds, I think, a few laps ago. So I don't know why they would pit him anyway, because, unless it's a safety car, unless Ferrari are about to cause a safety car, because this is what happened in 2008 Singapore GP. We got an unusually early pit stop for no apparent reason, and then a pit stop and then a crash. But no, we're not going to get Crashgate happen again. It would just be a little bit too obvious, especially doing it at the Singapore Grand Prix track. But yeah, you can see there just on that final DRS zone, Verstappen did have DRS from the traffic ahead of him, so that was sufficient for now to defend against Lando Norris. The question is, how much longer will it continue, and how much longer will it be enough? Because he's going to run out of drivers ahead of him as traffic, and then he's going to have to fend against Lando Norris for himself. On this occasion, he doesn't actually have any DRS. Bortoleto is just a few too many seconds up ahead, and Norris is, closing up. Here we go then, folks. Got a battle for second place. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Max Verstappen or is it going to be Lando Norris? Or are they going to crash each other out and Piastri gets second place? Alonso also gets ahead of Sainz, is it now? Yeah. Alonso's doing pretty well, I've got to say. Fernando Alonso, incredible job. He was a bit annoyed after his pit stop, but he's put that frustration in towards the racing, and now he's catching up to Liam Lawson, his nemesis, shall we say, from, I think, 2024 Mexico. Alonso and Liam Lawson, bit of a nemesis, but doesn't care, breezes past him. See you later, thank you very much. Job done. Oh, the data is frozen just for a sec. Hopefully, we don't have too many issues here, folks. Right, seems to be going all right. Hamilton is setting loads of fastest laps. All right, very, very nice. 15 laps remain of this race, folks, and Hamilton is purple in the first sector. Norris still within 0.8 of a second, though, and now Verstappen has got his final traffic DRS helper, shall we say, because Colapinto is now, I think, 1.1 seconds up the road or something, so through this next DRS zone, he'll probably get DRS off Colapinto and then get overtaken, and that's that. And then overtake Colapinto, sorry, and then no more DRS to help him out, and then it's a straight fight, Norris versus Verstappen. Okay, looking pretty good. All right, 49,000 people, 50,000 people. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. And be sure to smash that like button, folks. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. We're getting pretty close to 203k subscribers, which is pretty cool. And yeah. All right, then. So what else is going on? We've got Norris now. Yeah, there we go. Verstappen has overtaken Colapinto. It's now straight fight, Norris versus Verstappen, and Norris has just dropped out of DRS. Oh, this was getting pretty close. It's 1.007 as he passes through the DRS detection point. Oh no, he just gets it. Look at that, 0.999 within 1 millisecond, and he just gets the DRS. So it looks like we've got a battle on our hands here, folks. All right. Hamilton fastest lap of the race, of course, on fresh soft tyres, so that's good to see. I think that also beats, if I remember correctly, that beats Daniel Ricciardo's record from last year. So props to Lewis Hamilton. He's now got the race lap record around Singapore. Yeah. Because I think Ricciardo's was 134.1 and Hamilton's now just done a 133. So pretty nice. Lawson gets his pit stop done finally after 50 laps on these medium tyres. He comes into the pits, a 2.5 second stop out on the softs to push really hard towards the end. But he comes out in 19th position and yeah, really isn't going to matter too much. Sainz is the final driver yet to pit. I mean, he's massaging these tyres like there's no tomorrow. He's holding up a bunch of drivers as well. Behrman, Hadjar and Tsunoda cannot get past, but he's doing his fellow Spaniard a favour actually. Fernando Alonso is getting a nice gap built up for him, and yeah, he's left it too late. With 13 laps left to go, it's going to be tough to make significant progress up the field. Yeah. Okay, so we have got 8 tenths now is the gap between Norris and Verstappen. So Norris is well within DRS range, and now it's a question of when is he going to get within, when is he going to have enough battery to deploy, and when is he going to force a mistake from Max as well? That's another thing. Verstappen hasn't been totally flawless today. Oh, it's happened again. Verstappen hasn't been totally flawless today, and yeah, Norris is going to have to force a mistake. But that being said, Norris has also made mistakes of his own. Also, data is frozen again, so apologies for that. It should be continuing on. Hopefully not too many more issues. Why is Max not using DRS? Max doesn't have DRS from anyone else. He is, he's, what, 5-6 seconds off the back of Russell? So, yeah, it's not really working out, is he? Okay. What else have we got going on then? 12 laps remain though, and we've got Piastri. Yeah, Piastri's 6 seconds back. That is just too far back to really get close to Lando Norris. But Norris is within DRS range of Max Verstappen, so let's see how that works out for him. Right. Lewis is doing some magic. Honestly, yeah, some pretty nice laps there from Lewis, but still, he's 13 seconds behind Kimi Antonelli. I mean, maybe by the end of the race, it will work, but the thing is, on the previous lap, he was 2 seconds quicker, and he'll close the gap up to Antonelli very, very shortly, but then will he have enough tyres left after that point? You know, he'll do 2 seconds quicker laps for 6 laps straight, 7 laps straight, but then after those 7 laps, the tyres are going to be too hot to make the overtake work. And that's the problem that Hamilton faces. Yuki Tsunoda, it's showtime. Yeah, Tsunoda could do the funniest thing ever, and he could block George Russell, but I don't think that's going to happen. And Norris is really sitting in Max Verstappen's DRS now. He's getting closer and closer as each corner progresses. And final 10 laps here, folks. Two-way fight for second place. Sainz is not pitting. No, Sainz is just waiting for the safety car. Oh, there we go. He finally comes into the pits. So, yeah, finally does. He was hoping for a safety car to come out to help him out with the whole strategy situation, but it doesn't look like there is one coming out. So he is he's finally come into the pits, and he comes out in 12th position. Not too shabby. And Colapinto gets ahead of him. No, he's not coming out in 12th. He's coming out much further down, which is unfortunate to say the least. What website or app do you use to get the data? It's called Multiviewer, but you do need the F1 Pro subscription to get that. So there is a link in the description if you do want to get the F1 Pro subscription, but it's up to you. Quite pricey, actually. Yeah, Sainz, 50 laps of tire management, though. I've got to say, incredible job from him. But yeah, starting dead last is not gonna be very helpful. So if he started in, say, 13th position, then he probably could have made his way up into the points with this strategy. But because he started down there in 20th and 18th or whatever because of the disqualification, there's nothing that he could really do. Max is catching up to Russell. Yeah, he is. The gap is down to 4 seconds. But again, 4 seconds, 11 laps. Quite the big gap to close up in the space of 11 laps. So we'll see. We'll need a mistake from Russell for that to happen. But Russell, honestly, pretty much a flow state from him. And like very, very small things have been going wrong. Apart from that, it's just been perfect from George. Yeah, we've got Yuki Tsunoda versus Isaac Hadjar. We'll see what Tsunoda can do actually in towards turn number 1. Too far back to make a move. Same thing for Lando Norris as well. He's got to close up. 10 laps left to go, folks. 10 laps left to go. Have your opinions on driver of the day changed? I'd still say probably George Russell, surely. If I had a second option, maybe I would go with Carlos Sainz just for that 50 lap stint on the medium tyres. But yeah, probably George Russell is my driver of the day. Oh, Lando Norris tries it round the outside of Max, but no, still a little bit too far back. He's getting extremely close though now. And now Tsunoda could drop off the back of Hadjar, give Max DRS. I don't know if this team orders, if Red Bull would even do that, but yeah, Tsunoda could help out his teammate. But who knows how it'll go. He's getting so close now through these final few corners. Is Lando Norris? All right then. Well, 10 laps left to go. Put in your predictions. Is it going to be Max? Is it going to be Norris in second place, or are they both going to crash out and Piastri and Leclerc are going to be up on the podium? If it stays this way, McLaren do win the Constructors' Championship, just to reiterate. So they will be Constructors' Championship with a 3-4 points position. Jos van der Bruggen, thanks for joining the channel membership. Very much is appreciated there, mate. Thank you very, very much for helping out the channel. And, helping me get this mic and this webcam and these laptops and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so here we go then. 8 tenths is the gap going in towards turn number 1. Verstappen has a pretty smooth turn 1, to be honest. So does Norris, and he's holding it around 9 tenths. So Antonelli just gets ahead of Leclerc. What a move from Antonelli. I don't know if Leclerc made a mistake, but Leclerc was holding off Antonelli for so long. I mean, they've been going, since Antonelli came out of the pits, which was 28 laps, Antonelli has been stuck behind Leclerc, and he finally makes it ahead. So, great job there from Antonelli. Great move. And at Leclerc down into 6th position. Oh, Stroll's come over the radio. So they've come over the radio to Stroll, say Bortoletto's on 40-lap-old hard tyres. You can get this overtake done. And Stroll's just said, oh, my mediums feels like they're 100 laps old. I don't know how he's done that because he's managed soft tyres for 40 laps. So surely he'll be able to manage his mediums. But it's just Stroll things, to be honest. Just Stroll things. Yeah. Alrighty, we're getting pretty close to 13,000 likes as well, folks. Only 100 likes away, so if you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. If you want to watch Formula One, what you can do is you can get Surfshark VPN using the link in the description for $2 a month. Then you join a Swiss VPN server. You go onto Google, you search SRF, and then you can watch Formula One. So yeah, we've got about, I think, nearly 600 or so people on the stream right now who are using this method to watch it, so it does work. But the commentary is in German, so you mute the commentary and you listen to me instead. But either way, Norris just drops out of DRS range. Don't know what's going on with Norris, but maybe he's run out of battery or something, because yeah, he's got no DRS down the main straight. Now coming through the next DRS detection point, he's 9.5 tenths back. It's now just over 1/10. No DRS again for Lando Norris, and Max is just holding on. I mean, this car doesn't seem particularly drivable. You know, the one benefit that he does have of the tyres wearing out is that your flat spot, so of course you have the normal circle and then you have the flat spot, that also wears out a lot quicker. So now it's been nearly 10 laps or so since he had his flat spot. The effect of it and the worst of it is now well past him, and yeah, he can sort of just deal with driving the car now, and it's not the most undrivable thing in the world. All right, yeah, Hamilton has the fastest lap of the race, and it looks to stay that way, to be honest. I don't think Russell is going to be going 3 seconds quicker on the final lap of the race, because he's got 30-lap-old hard tyres, yeah. Don't give up yet, Carlos Sainz. Yeah, Sainz, actually, look at this gap. He is 5 seconds now behind Tsunoda with 8 laps left to go. He's on soft. Tsunoda's on 40-lap-old hard tyres. He can make that overtake work, can't he? Congrats for 200k and the face reveal. I got a pretty normal Grand Prix for my birthday. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for the donation as well. I do not know how to say your name, but thank you for the 25 Hong Kong dollars. Yeah, very much is appreciated. Okay. Wow, we've got loads of donations coming through today. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, happy birthday to you as well. Got a nice Grand Prix. Probably not the most exciting one in the world, but still pretty interesting. Norris there in second place, and he's just been teasing us as Norris. He's been getting close and then falling back, and then getting close and then falling back. He's got a few lap times deleted as Lando Norris, actually exceeding track limits at turn number 2 on the previous lap. So yeah, he's been doing absolutely everything that he can to try and get ahead. And Leclerc and Hamilton have switched positions. Why have they switched positions? Did Hamilton actually make that overtake on? I don't know. Okay. Well, Hamilton's clearly on the quicker tyres, so it makes sense for them to switch. Maybe they'll switch back later on, because Hamilton is only 2 points. Yeah, so this is normally how it works. With 7 laps left to go, what's going to happen is Hamilton is going to try and close up to Kimi Antonelli. If he can close up, make the overtake work, then he gets the place. If it doesn't work out and Hamilton can't overtake, on the final lap, they'll switch around. But yeah, the driver of the day votes 16% for George Russell, 15% for Fernando Alonso, 13% for Max Verstappen. Actually, Fernando Alonso, pretty exciting considering that he got a bad pit stop. He has not been too shabby. And look at that, a huge no man's land. I mean, Charles Leclerc is at turn number 12. Alonso's at turn number 1. He's on the other side of the circuit. Oh my God. He's on the other side of the circuit as Fernando Alonso. So, yeah. All right. That's how big the difference is between the other teams and Charles Leclerc. Well, not Charles Leclerc, the top teams, yeah. All right, Norris still within 0.6 of a second. There's no more traffic anymore, so 7 tenths now. Coming through turn number 5, can he get a good exit? Can he force Max Verstappen to make a mistake? That is all that he's relying on. He's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, and he's still got his broken end plate as well. He's still got a broken end plate. So he's still going on with that. To be fair, the broken end plate is really not costing him too much lap time. And Mal, why would they switch Lewis's faster? Well, I don't know if Lewis actually made the overtake on track or they told the drivers to switch around, because if Lewis just overtook Charles fair and square, then they wouldn't switch. But I didn't actually see it on my footage because I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, if they switched around like via team orders, then they'll switch back. If Hamilton just overtook on pace, then it'll be just standard stuff, really. Thanks for the stream. Thank you very much for the donation there, buddy. Very much is appreciated, folks. We've got loads of donations coming in today. Yeah, thanks so much. All right, 6 laps remain of this race. We're on lap number 57 of 62, and Lando Norris is still within DRS of Max Verstappen. When is he going to do this overtake? Because the longer he waits, the more his tyres overheat, the more his battery runs out, and Max is charging up his battery. You can see this from when you see the lights flash. Apologies there for the lag a little bit. We've only got 5 laps left, which is about 6-7 minutes or so, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But when you see the lights flash on the back of the car, that indicates that they're recharging the battery. So if, going down the straight, Verstappen has got the lights flashing, that means he's not even attacking that hard down the straight. Most of the time, no one's recharging their battery down the straight, but they are recharging them through, turns number 10, 11, 12, 13. That's normally where they are. That's normally where they're doing it. Yeah. Oh, I really don't know what the 6-7 thing is. We'll just carry on with it, I guess. Maybe I've just got to pay attention to not say it, but yeah. Anyway. Oh, Norris taking quite a bit of curb there. You can see the car just bouncing about, taking a lot of curb, being pretty aggressive. I mean, the curbs around here in Singapore are relatively flat, so it's not too much of a problem, but the cars are also super low to the ground because they know the curbs aren't that flat. Yeah. All right. Here comes Lando Norris. 5 laps remain. Is it going to happen? So yeah. Okay. What else have we got going on then? We have got a big old battle actually, down 14th, 15th, 16th position. Stroll just gets ahead of Colapinto. Of course, Stroll's on 20-lap-old tyres. Colapinto's on 40-lap-old tyres, so nice job there from Colapinto. Beckett Joas, thanks for joining the channel membership. Very much is appreciated. And yeah. Also, the Surfshark VPN giveaway, the person that won the Surfshark VPN giveaway, I think the name was Henry Chin. Henry Chin won the Surfshark VPN giveaway. So, yeah, I'll email Surfshark VPN, try get some more codes. So I'll give them out next race in Kota. So, yeah, we haven't got a giveaway running this weekend, but we will have one in 2 weekends' time. So, yeah, if you've won the giveaway, Henry Chin, then send me a DM on Instagram, F1_gamer_5. Actually, folks, do follow me on Instagram, F1_gamer_5. I'll put some behind the scenes and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of funny memes that I posted about a couple of weeks ago, which I think are well worth watching. Yeah. All right. Then we've got, 4 laps remain. Norris still in this DRS. Russell catching up to Behrman now. Russell has nearly lapped half the field. Half the field, for crying out loud. Oh my God. Antonelli is under pressure from Lewis Hamilton. Antonelli's on 36-lap-old hard tyres. Hamilton is on 15-lap-old soft tyres. So it should be a reasonably easy overtake for Hamilton. Let's have a look then. Piastri's bouncing over quite a few curbs here. He's also not having the best experience. He's closing up to the back of Lando Norris, but with only 3 laps left, he's going to need a big mistake from Norris if he's going to overtake him. Okay. Also, let me get the championship standings up. Give me just a sec here, folks. Where are the championship standings? There we go. All right, I'll get the championship standings and put them up on the screen shortly. I think this should work. Oh, that's a little bit too big. I'll make them smaller. Where's it gone? These would be the championship standings if the positions stay as they are. And as you can see, we've got Piastri still in the lead. Norris closes that up by 3 points. Then we've got Verstappen also gaining a few more points on Lando Norris. But yeah, I don't think we need the team radios for the end, but I'll just hide them for now. Okay. 0.8 of a second. I mean, Norris has just been sitting at 0.8 of a second. Like, surely make a move at some point. Yeah. But Max is doing a good job defending, to be honest. Antonelli is under pressure here from, he was under pressure from Lewis Hamilton until Hamilton made a mistake. And then Hamilton dropped 3.5 seconds back. So looks like Hamilton is not going to be getting that 5th place, and Antonelli's done a pretty good drive, actually. Ferrari brake issue. Oh, okay, Ferrari brake issue for Lewis Hamilton. Hopefully, we'll see if he stays ahead of Leclerc. He's only got 2 laps left, so that's only, 9 kilometers of racing left on this racetrack now. He's surely not lost his entire brakes, has he? He's probably lost some brakes, but I don't know. We'll see. To be fair, the gap behind him, if you look to Leclerc's 2 seconds back, then Fernando Alonso is 43 seconds back. So it doesn't matter. Like, Hamilton could drive in reverse for the final lap of the race, and it would be okay. Yeah, they've just come over the radio here to Lewis Hamilton. Just pull down and let Charles by. He's coming through now. So they did swap around the 2 drivers as expected, and yeah, it doesn't really matter. Even if Hamilton does have brake issues, there's 47 seconds left for Alonso to catch up, which is not going to happen. Sainz is in the points. Honestly, incredible job there by Carlos Sainz. Up 8 positions. So much overtaking done in the final few laps. And those soft tyres really worked very, very well for Carlos Sainz. So the smooth operator from podium to points, and from the pit lane pretty much to points, it was a really good drive there. Started in 18th, up into 10th. Yeah, nice job. Okay. 7/10 remain. 7/10 is the gap again. We're on the penultimate lap of the race. George Russell comes across the line now. We start the final lap. And yeah, we've got a replay here. Hamilton's brakes just seem to sort of stop working. I'm not exactly sure, like he outbrakes himself or something. But look at the gap between himself and Leclerc. It's now 15 seconds or something. So yeah, 15 seconds is the gap, but we are also on nearly the final lap of the race. We'll see if Alonso catches up. That would be pretty cool, actually, if he does. But it would be also rather unlikely, I think. All right, so yeah, final lap of the race here, folks. Lap number 62 of 62. And can Norris get ahead? No, the answer is no again. He's got one final overtaking opportunity left. Turn number 14. That is all that he's got. Is he going to send one down the inside, or is he just going to sit behind and get the points and collect the 15 points for this race, gain 3 more points on his championship rival Oscar Piastri? What is going to happen? Oh, Alonso is now 17 seconds back from Hamilton. Alonso is really gaining. Hamilton is now 26 seconds back from Charles Leclerc. On the previous lap, he has lost 26 seconds. This one's actually going to be pretty close on the final lap, but none of that matters. We got George Russell coming through the final couple of corners. What a pole position lap from him yesterday. He broke the lap record 2 times. Man and machine perfectly in sync. Not a single mistake from him. He set 9 fastest laps. He comes across the line. George Russell wins the Singapore Grand Prix. What a drive from George. 5 seconds in the lead of the race. Max Verstappen in second place. Lando Norris in P3. Oscar Piastri P4. And that has been that. But folks, look at Lewis Hamilton versus Fernando Alonso. Alonso is gaining. Hamilton is going super duper slowly. He has lost all braking performance, has Lewis Hamilton. What is going on there? And is Alonso going to get the overtake done? There's 2.5 kilometers left of racing. 9 corners left to slow down for, to brake for. Will Hamilton make it? George Russell started in first place, finished in first place. Flawless weekend from him. Absolutely incredible. Missed a Saturday, wins on Sunday as well. And he's picking up all of the tyre rubber not to get disqualified this time round. Yeah, most of the drivers have finished their race. They've all been lapped. Here comes Fernando Alonso in towards turn number 16 now. Hamilton's got no brakes. Fernando Alonso is gaining, and 4 corners remain. What are they telling over the radios of Fernando Alonso? Are they telling him to go for the move? Is Alonso going to get that 7th place after Hamilton has a brake failure on the final lap? They're neck and neck coming through the final 2 corners, and Hamilton just stays out ahead. You don't have to brake for the final corner. So by half a second, Fernando Alonso is in 8th position. That was very, very close. Wow. What a race! What a race! Incredible. Well, you know, the final couple of laps are incredible. I wouldn't say it was been the most exhilarating race ever, but Carlos Sainz up eight positions as well. Got to give huge props to him. And yeah, that's been about all really from me, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for subscribing. It's been an incredible journey, you know, reaching to 200,000 subscribers. We've done a face reveal now. I'm still yet to decide whether I'm going to do a face reveal every single race or every single practice session or stuff like that. So we'll get it all figured out. Oh, we could do a poll. Yeah, we could do a poll. Why not? Webcam ? I would keep it small, you know, it's not going to be super big or anything like this. I'll put the championship standings up there as well. These are the championship standings, so let me just adjust this. There we go. Right. So yeah, you can see Alonso up 3 places in the driver standings, and yeah, let's also get rid of this little piece of text and also this little piece of text. Okay. But yeah, so that is it. There's been an incident noted for Lewis Hamilton for track limits. We'll see if Hamilton gets a penalty for that one, because he may have cut a few corners here and there, which result in him getting a penalty and stuff like that. But yeah, that'll get announced soon enough. He got a black and white flag for track limits. All right. So yeah, the points gap quite big. Max to Piastri, 63 points now, nearly 63, something along those lines. And Norris brings the 25-point gap down to 22. So yeah. All right. All the moderators, be sure to send me an email. My email is gamer f1.yt5@gmail.com. If the mods could send me an email, that'd be fantastic. I'd like to hook you guys up with some merch and stuff like that. And I think that is all from me, really. Yeah, he went off when he lost his brakes, which is fair enough. But we'll see. But that is all from me, really. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed the coverage. Hope you guys have enjoyed the face reveal. So what I'm going to do now, I'll end the. They're saying that Lewis got a 5-place grid penalty. I mean, I'll check what they said on race control, but race control haven't awarded him a penalty or anything. He's been noted for exceeding track limits, but it's not been said that he's actually got a penalty or not. Yeah, so I think that is all from me. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to end the stream. I'll take you over to the stream for the US GP, which is in 2 weeks' time. So if you can hit the like button and the subscribe button, and the reminder button mainly, that's the big one. The like button and the reminder button, it really helps out the algorithm. I've said this probably loads of times before, but the reason the channel has got to 200,000 subscribers is for all of the people that hit the like button before the stream starts. And yeah. So that's been all really from me. And I shall see you in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, and also I've got to end the stream on a T-post, folks. I've got to on a T-post or on a T-pose. And yeah, I think that's all from me. So I shall see you all in. Oh, I muted myself. Yeah. Oops. But yeah, T-pose for George Russell winning. Bye, and see you in 2 weeks. Cheers, folks. Hit the like button as well and the remind button. That helps out loads. All right.